a former sports presenter. And some of us used to listen to Dr. Randy Abbey way back. So when this appointment came, a lot of us felt, look, hard work pays. Dr. Randy Abbey has been, he's been there, done that, seen it all. And this elevation, in the scheme of things, when you talk about the Maslow's theory of needs, was high up there for Randy Abbey to reach a point where he would say, yes, this is it. Because the position of CEO of the Ghana Cocoa Board
Sporty
is as huge as being the governor of the Bank of Ghana or being in charge of minerals in this country.
Okay.
Gold and the likes, diamond and the likes. You see, it was as huge as it came. And so a lot of us were excited for Dr. Randy Abbey. But a lot of us again looked at Randy Abbey and the other hats he was wearing and said, look, Doc, because of the importance of the sector in which you are, the multi-billion-dollar sector that you find yourself in, and the responsibilities and the demands of that job, we appreciate all your efforts in football.
Sporty FM.
We appreciate everything you've given to football. And so, as a matter of urgency, quickly recuse yourself from all football-related positions. Okay? Step away from all football-related duties so that your key focus will be on the cocoa sector that you've been putting. You do not need any distraction from football. And I remember saying that, look, Dr. Randy Abbey, Ghana football as it is just a second away from a scandal or drama. And you do not want to be the CEO of Cocoa Board and have issues within the football space, smearing your hard-earned reputation or smearing your hard-earned, the good job you are doing at Cocoa Board. So, for your own good, move away from football-related matters. And Dr. Randy Abbey is an ESCO member. Dr. Randy Abbey is the management committee chairman of the Black Stars. The Black Stars management committee chairman. That's correct?
Yep.
So, wearing these two hats, close to the day-to-day running of football in this country, and close to the day-to-day running of the Black Stars and matters concerning the Black Stars, some of us felt, look, focus on Cocoa Board. Deliver the deliverables within the sector. Later on, you can come back to football. But it will be best that you move away from football-related matters. For now. But Nathan, our big brother Dr. Randy Abbey didn't listen to me. He decided to combine the roles. Multitasking. Today, when we are having National Farmers Day, Dr. Randy Abbey will be in Washington focusing on World Cup draw. When farmers are gathered celebrating National Farmers Day, a national holiday, the Cocoa Board CEO
the voice of
is in Washington, D.C., presiding over World Cup draw. Not presiding, watching World Cup draw, let me put it that way. In Washington. We said all of this. You said, no, look. You see, even Nathan, the optics alone.
Yep.
Your first National Farmers Day as Cocoa Board CEO, you were not present. You were not present at any gathering. But you were focusing on football matters. Of course, the World Cup draw was important. But you are the GFA president there. You are the general secretary there. You are the vice president there. You are the coach of the national team there. Enough representation. But no, our Cocoa Board CEO had to be there too. Now Cocoa Board is on its knees. Now cocoa farmers are shouting. When the president was in parliament on Friday, did you see what the minority side did? They were carrying cocoa. They were wearing black. They had the sash. That's it, right? Branded. Cocoa farmers. Look, the CEO of Ghana Cocoa Board. Look, the CEO of Ghana Cocoa Board was now moving from radio station to radio station, defending Cocoa Board, defending his work at Cocoa Board.
But that's you expect him to do that, right?
Nathan, when your sector is functioning, I mean, I've not seen Atufosin moving from radio station to radio station, defending his work at Finance Ministry. I've not seen BOG governor jumping from radio station to radio station, defending what he's done as governor of the Bank of Ghana. Nathan, when your sector is functioning, you don't need any explanation. It speaks for itself. The performance speaks for itself. True or false? So when you are moving from radio station to radio station with files, with envelopes, with documents, with dossiers, trying to defend yourself, everybody knows that the wheels are coming off. But for spiritual intervention,
Which spiritual intervention?
oh Nathan, but for spiritual intervention, I am sure the president would have considered removing Dr. Randiabe from Cocoa Board. You see, all of these things call for deep introspection on the part of Dr. Randiabe. He must quickly decide where he wants to be, where he wants to stand, what he wants to focus on, what his priority is. Is it going to be the Black Stars? Is it going to be the Executive Council of the Ghana Football Association? Is it going to be Pando Heart of Lions? Do you know, even as we speak, Heart of Lions, they've been dropping free fall. They're on a free fall, just dropping. Even Pando Heart of Lions is struggling. Nathan, Dr. Randiabe must look at all of these things and quickly advise himself.
Sporty FM.
And if you ask me, I'll tell Dr. Randiabe, enough is enough. Focus on Cocoa Board matters and recuse yourself from football matters. It's a very simple one. Concentrate on putting Cocoa Board up there. Concentrate on making sure cocoa farmers enjoy the work they do for the state, for the country. He should ensure that whatever he has to do within the sector, he focuses on delivery. Because look, cocoa is a key contributor to the GDP of this country. And you cannot play the role of Cocoa Board CEO with divided attention. No way. Okay, Nathan? So we are saying that, look, you see, a lot of things have happened though. You remember recently, Cocoa Board issued a disclaimer that they had not planned to support Black Stars with only 12 million cedis.
Yeah.
You remember?
Yeah, I remember that.
You see, when we called for Randy to step aside and focus on Cocoa Board,
the voice of
some of these things were part. Look, if Randy hadn't taken that job as CEO of Cocoa Board, and say government appeal to Cocoa Board to support the Black Stars, the Black Stars World Cup campaign, it would have been easy for Cocoa Board to send their contribution, even in the state in which they are, without anybody raising any questions. Okay? It would have been very easy for government to seek sponsorship from Cocoa Board for this Black Stars campaign easily.
Okay.
But you see, because there's a certain Randiabe there, and many feel he's part of the football furniture, any money from Cocoa Board to the national team will be like taking money from Cocoa Board and giving to his football people.
Yeah.
That would have been the impression. So now, Cocoa Board would have to distance themselves from supporting anything football related. They have to run away from it. And it's simply because of the role Dr. Randiabe plays within the football space and within the cocoa space. It becomes conflicted. And again, when you hear that Randiabe is supposed to be leading the Black Stars Management Committee and is expected to possibly benefit from the budgeted $310,000 that minister spoke about as honorarium for management committee members, then again, you ask the question, why must he be holding these two roles? What is in there?
Sporty FM.
What is in it for him to still want to be there? Is it the honorarium that has been budgeted? And in his role as Cocoa Board CEO, what would he need that honorarium for? Because of course, the perks within that sector is so much more than this honorarium that he'll be receiving as management committee member. I saw pictures, I saw artworks of the 5 management committee members. Pictures with $62,000 attached to everybody's name. I said, oh, you see, this is not befitting of our CEO, Kokobo CEO. That image itself, it's not befitting. So Nathan, this morning, my humble appeal to Dr. Randiabe is a look. Choose ye this day whom thou shalt serve. Nathan, give me that scripture. It's in the Bible. Oh, give me the scripture. Choose ye this day whom thou shalt serve. Nathan, have you found the scripture?
Joshua 24:15.
Read it for me.
Okay, and if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom you will serve.
Thank you.
Whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land you dwell. But as for me and my house,
we shall serve the Lord. Dr. Randy Abbey, choose. Choose wisely. Whether you want to serve Ghana football or you want to serve cocoa farmers. But as for me, I will advise you to serve cocoa farmers. Nathan, I rest my case.
So Raymond
is saying that Randy Abbey should choose a side. He says that he should choose the cocoa side. I don't know what you think. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. We'll get into the Ghana Premier League in a bit. But before we proceed, 2 quick announcements. Football's big moment is almost upon us. Now, if you want to be on the journey to US and Canada, we also want to go. 90-year travel advisors and Venture G Travel are taking Ghana to the World Cup across the US and Canada. From visa assistance, international flights to hotel stays, match tickets, and complete travel coordination, we manage every detail, so you can travel with confidence. This is about careful planning. This is also about trust. This is about reliable support from start to finish. This is more than a trip. Visit the Accra office at Ablade Road in Kanda, opposite the Montcrest University. Or you can call 059-125-8275, 059-673-8545. Or send a WhatsApp message to 055-221-2650 or plus 1571-229-6900 to secure your place at the 2026 World Cup. 90-year travel advisors and Venture G Travel, your complete World Cup travel partner. Now, if you haven't bought your Polytank Sumo Super yet, you are missing out. Because in this Ghana month or Heritage Month, we want you to save money. Get about 10% off the premium multiple layer Sumo Super Tank. From now to the end of Ghana month nationwide, let's celebrate our heritage together. Built with advanced multi-layer technology and reinforced for superior durability, Sumo Super is designed to last, giving you peace of mind for your home project or business. Don't miss this limited time offer. Visit any Polytank outlet today, ask for Sumo Super, and save over 1,000 cedis. Polytank, the original, always the best. Polytank, Papa Nankasa. And beware of fraudsters. Polytank does not request for Momo payments online. So be very careful. Time check, it's 10 to 8. All right, let's get into the Ghana Premier League. Interesting match week. Interesting results from over the weekend. Things are beginning to look very interesting on the Ghana Premier League table. We'll get into that in a second. Coach Ebenezer Sefa is joining us. Coach, good morning. How are you doing?
Later, I'm good. Good morning.
How was the weekend?
You can't complain. It was good. I always give thanks to God. I mean, it's not easy, but you're managing.
Okay. you don't sound confident at all.
No, I'm cool. I'm cool. It's just that I don't know whether Raymond is coming back.
Ray will come back.
I'm cool.
Anyway, let's get into the results. The full results, top to bottom: Kotoko 0, Vision FC 0, Bechem United 0, Karela 0, Bekum Chelsea 1, Young Apostles 1.
I told you that.
Bibiani Gold Stars 2, Hearts of Oak 1. Hearts of Oak's first loss in a while. Dreams FC 1, Adriana 0. Hohoy United 1, Samatech 0. Holy Stars 1, Heart of Lions 0. Swedru All Black 0, Mediama 0. 11 Wonders 0, Nations FC 2. That's the most obvious result. Water is wet, really. There were 2 red cards in the league this weekend. One to Vision FC as they played Kotoko in Kumasi, and the other one to Adriana as they took on Dreams FC at Tuba. Coach, I think let's start off with the Heart of Oak one. Heart of Oak losing by 2-1. Gold Stars took the lead, Hearts equalized, and then in the 90th minute, Gold Stars found what became the winner to give them all 3 points.
Personally, I wasn't surprised. You remember I told you on Friday that is going to be Benjamin Asari's test.
Okay.
And I knew Gold Stars were going to win by a slim margin. I think I said all these things here. You know, Gold Stars is the best attacking team, and As of Folk is the best defending team.
Okay. But
most of the teams that play As of Folk always go with one top. And when you play As of Folk with one top, obviously, SB and Ali Mohammed will do justice to your man up front. And then, of course, if you don't have very good wingers, you cannot beat As of Folk. The Bibiani Gold Stars went into the game with the top scorer of the league, Atakumi, and of course the Burkinabe lanky striker, Sanyo. And then they also came in with Augustin Boache, formerly of Kotoko.
Yeah.
You know, this coach is coming from Kotoko. So the moment he came in the second window, he brought Augustin Boache.
Yes. He scored the winning goal.
Well, asking questions. The late Anoa Kabe, so rest in peace. He took this young man to the Chan tournament in Algeria. So he's one of the bulky strikers that you can have when it comes to the Ghana Premier League. It was a game that I knew House of Folk were going to play and play well. When I saw the team sheet of House of Folk, I knew House of Folk were going to play. They were going to make sure that they pick every second ball, they move into spaces, and also try to create chances. But on the whole, I think that Emmanuel Kobe of Gold Stars, no wonder he won the MVP. There were some brilliant saves that especially in the early stages of the game. House of Folk had some brilliant opportunities, but he was able to save those chances. And then, of course, Kweku Henry, the Kumasi Messi, the build-up to his goal was so wonderful. About 8 touches or 8 passes from House of Folk, from their half to the half of Bibiani Gold Stars. I mean, House of Folk were playing some delightful football, but what matters most was what Bibiani Gold Stars did. And for me, I wasn't surprised they were able to beat Benjamin Asari. And those 2 goals, there's nothing Asari could have. There's nothing he could have done with those balls. Especially the last goal. It was a cross from the left side. And I think that Bernard did very well, but racing to the last edge of House of Folk half and then sending in that cross. And as I told you about the stature of Augustin Boache, he was able to score behind the House of Folk centre back and not the ball, and Asari couldn't do anything. And of course, the first goal from Atakumi too was just amazing. It was just a pass into the net, like how you saw players like Vinicius Junior passing the ball into the net. It was a pass into the net.
Yeah.
Asari stretched the leg, but unfortunately he couldn't get it. For me, the better side won, and for me, Gold Stars, they've proven that they are really, really the defending champions of the Ghana Premier League.
Wonderful stuff. So, Hearts of Oak losing by 2-1. League leaders, Mediama, their lead is now down to 1 point as a consequence of 2 results. One being Gold Stars winning their game, the other being Mediama drawing goalless at Swedru.
I still think that Mediama stands a chance because all the teams started from point 0. So, if as at week 24, he's leading by a point, you give him the credit because they all started from point 0.
Yeah.
And Mediama playing 2 away games to Samates and Summer Boy. It's a difficult venue. They have not lost a game at home. And of course, coming to play All Blacks, that is struggling not to go to relegation. Of course, I mean, you saw the fans, the atmosphere in Swedru. So of course, Mediama did very well by picking a point from that game. I must say that Felix Che also did very well from Mediama conceding, and I think that Swedru Blacks played much better in the game yesterday than Mediema, and they deserve at least a goal. But with the able hands of Felice, they were able to pick a point from that game going back home.
Okay.
And they are going to wait for Ho United. And I think that All Blacks, you know, since Mengel took over, they've just won a game.
Yeah.
And so he was brought in to come and salvage the image of the club, and probably the team should not go to relegation. And they are optimistic that the team will not go. It was a difficult game. I mean, looking at the fans that were behind the goalposts of Mediema, you know, Mediema felt that there were a lot of intimidation around their goalposts and all that. But at the end of the day, they were able to stand and then pick a point from that game. So for me, I give them the credit. But I think that it was a very good game that at least you should have witnessed that game on TV.
Sporty FM.
I see. Let's proceed. So, we'll talk about Mediama and how you think they can handle the rest of the season. We'll come to that as we end the discussion. Let's stay with the results. Kotoko drew goalless at home to Vision FC. Their goalkeeper spoke about, you know, and I saw the story on Ghana Web. He says it was a very disappointing result. They could not get a goal or 3 points. They got only 1 point in that game. And, you know, Mohamed Kamara, he was speaking after the game. Let me give you the quote and then I'll take your thoughts.
No problem.
He said, quote, "Yeah, I'm disappointed we couldn't win the game. In this game, we're expected to win. 10 against 11 is not a game we should draw. We should have won. But it's not over. We'll try and win the game and continue from there." Is he correct?
He's 100%, or let me say over 100% correct. You see, Kamara won the MVP.
Yes.
It was unfortunate Vision couldn't score. Vision should have scored 3 in the first half against Kumasi Asante Kotoko. On 3 occasions, 1v1 with Kamara, and he saved Kotoko. Vision FC played some wonderful game, some delightful football, interpositional changes, using the spaces around the Kotoko midfield, creating loopholes within the Kotoko defense. And I think that Vision, for me, was a delight to watch in the first half. Kamara, it was between Kamara and then, of course, Vision FC.
Yeah.
In the second half,
It was Kamara versus Vision.
Yes. Oh no, they made sure that Kotoko would suffer, especially in midfield. Kotoko were playing. Said Kojo, when was the last time he played for Kotoko? And then of course, Emmanuel Entry, when was the last time he played with Hubert Yehu? And you have this Alidu Muhammad, who had a record, former Legon City's midfielder.
Okay.
Wonderful chap in midfield, and of course, Aite in midfield, Ajete in midfield, and they were so good for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. And I think that Vision FC have themselves to blame by not picking all the 3 points. On 3 occasions, I said 1v1 with Kamara, and Kamara made those brilliant saves. Albert Amon had an opportunity early stages of the game, but unfortunately, his loved over the goalkeeper just hit the upright, and of course, the ball couldn't enter the net. Peter Amidu Aka, for me, as usual, selfish and undecisive when he has one at the final edge of the penalty area.
Yeah.
And that has been his problem ever since he joined Kumasi Asante Kotoko from Park Academy. And I'm wondering why coaches have come in and gone, have not been able to solve that problem for that young man. And that was the brightest spot that you can talk about the first half of Kumasi Asante. After the red card to Alidu Muhammad, Kotoko took over. And Vision FC decided to go the low block. All of them were behind the ball. And that was where I felt that Kotoko disappointed a lot of people, especially their own fans. You asked a lot of questions. Do Kotoko have a playing style?
That's an interesting question.
They don't.
This is
Kotoko doesn't have a playing style.
The voice of sports.
And seriously, Kotoko is lacking a winning mentality. Lacking motivational mentality. Self-motivation, self-confidence, and they are lacking the unity mentality of a game.
Why? What is the problem?
You see, I've said it that look, you play House of Folk. At a point, it was 10 against 11, right?
Yes.
And every cross from the wing to the the House of Folk area, all the balls went to Benjamin Asare. It tells you that there was the awareness of the Kotoko players wasn't there. The position of the Kotoko attackers wasn't there. And of course, improvisation from the Kotoko players was zero.
Yeah.
So for me, you had opportunity to play again. And this time, there was another red card. So you were playing 10 against 11. If you had watched the game critically, all these things that I mentioned, Kotoko couldn't do. They send the crosses in before probably they raise their head to look at where the ball went. And a team like Kotoko shouldn't be playing like that. Vision FC were defending gallantly. So all the second balls that comes in at the edge of their penalty area, Kotoko picks the ball. And when they pick the ball, they go wide. And either the left for Saka Dauda, on the right for Joseph Amwa, who is a left-footed player on the right. He has to bring the ball to his left foot. When Baba Yayatu was introduced, he always loved to bring the ball back. And you were asking yourself a lot of questions. Kotoko made quick changes, and they brought on what was the name? Morfin Donsu. His first start, just turn and strike the ball into the net, and he just passed the ball into the goalkeeper's hands. There was a weaker ball coming to you, just turn and just smash the ball into the net. He just passed the ball into the goalkeeper's hands.
Those time,
you see, Kamara, I feel Kamara's pain in whatever he said. The 90th minute, Kotoko had a corner kick. Kamara came out, and he had a very good nod of the ball. Kamara was there for him to just use his head to nod the ball into the net. He wanted to use his chest, and then the goalkeeper has to take the ball from him. It sounds like Kotoko lacks so many things. So many things. So there are a lot of questions that you can ask, and the moment you begin to ask those questions, you begin to ask whether Coach Prince, whatever happens or what goes on at the training grounds. Because if Vision FC, let me give credit to Nanajima and his team, Alfred Nelson and the rest. In terms of their build-up, the transition and everything, you could clearly see a certain pattern. But for Kotoko, you don't see such things.
I mean, that's for Nanajima. When he's coaching your team, you are sure of what you are going to get.
No,
so I agree with you on the pattern because he has a clear idea.
It's not only about Nanajima. When you watch Ibrahim Tanko play,
I'm talking about.
You watch Frimpong play.
Very good. I'm even talking about just this game in isolation.
Yes.
I'm just saying that if you look at the two coaches,
yes,
I know Nanajima's handiwork. When you see a Nanajima team play, you know that Nanajima is coaching this team.
Yes.
You know that there's a certain style, or you know what to expect. So I agree with you on, as you're saying, what exactly Asante Kotoko doing on the tactical side? Like, is there an identity? Is there a style? Is there a general idea that guides what they are doing?
It's a big problem. It's a big problem because if you are listening to the Kotoko faithfuls, I'm talking about the fans after the game. Look, you've played Hasselhoff. They were down by a man.
Yes. For large parts of the game,
you understand? Yeah. And just still, you couldn't break through the lines of Accra Hasselhoff. You went the wide areas. Let's assume that, look, the players were lacking certain things that they couldn't send the crosses in, and moreover, the attackers also were not helping. Okay? You have this Vision FC team that have got two tall centre backs. Kotoko sent the balls to the wide areas again. So what was the training after the Hasselhoff, the corrections after the Hasselhoff game? You see, after the Hasselhoff game, what was the corrections that they did? The positive aspect of the game that they build on, and then the negative aspect of that game that they decide to work on. You see, when you play a game and you cannot hold on to possession for 2-3 minutes, it's a big problem. It's a big problem. You see, in the first half, for instance, the Kotoko midfield were hollow.
Sporty FM.
Okay.
And the Vision players were moving in with ease.
If you say hollow, was it from a numbers perspective? They didn't have enough numbers in midfield.
They have the numbers, but the players were weak.
Okay.
If you have Emmanuel Entry, when was the last time he even sat on the Kotoko's bench? You have Seth Kojo, and then Hubert Diaw, who always want to attack, who always want to go forward. And you have this Alidu Muhammad. If you know him very well from Lagos Cities, he's one of the toughest midfielders that you can have. Hasselhoff had to persuade him. Mediama went in, Adriana came in, and he decided not to go anywhere. He chose Vision FC.
I see.
They have Ajete, and that Ajete guy is very good. So if you have these two creative players in midfield and you are playing Manentry and Seth Kojo, what do you expect? If you allow your opponents to gain possession before you try to press, you are dead. And that was what they were doing to Kotoko. So you realize that they were putting the ball in between the Kotoko defenders. And of course, Farouk Muhammad, the former United striker who was loaned to Vision, who was sold to Nations and then loaned to Vision, had this. He couldn't. I mean, whether he was a goal shy or what, because he went through the Kotoko defense like a joke when the passes were going through the Kotoko defenders. And I said it has to be Kamara and the Vision FC players. Fortunately, there was a red card to that one of the midfielders who was destroying your team.
Yes.
Quickly, you need to vary your system, vary your game.
In the 70th minute. So Kotoko had about 20 minutes.
Yes, and of course, these Vision guys went back to defend, tried to catch Kotoko on the counter, but it was not working for them. So they were just defending. And of course, defending in terms of heading the ball out of the penalty area, you should be able to capitalize on the second ball. Go back to the wide areas. If you have Kotoko 2 players in the penalty area of Vision FC, and then of course you have Vision FC 4 defenders, you should be able to locate your player. When you are sending in a cross, you should be able to locate your player. If you are not able to locate your player from 5 crosses, it tells me that you are not doing anything at training. Not just only this game. If I should go back to some games that you played,
That's true.
it's a big problem.
Yeah.
You give credit to Vision FC goalkeeper, and they defended very well. But the opportunities came for you to slot the ball in. But if you don't, on 2 occasions. So the moment you do that, what do you expect me to tell you and your coach? I'll give credit to Vision FC, and for me, thumbs up to Nana Jima and his team. They really showed Kotoko how to play football. They did. And these are some of the games that we expect our teams to push the Kotoko and the House of Oak and the Mediamas and the Journalists. They should push them. We are always using names of the clubs to say, oh, we're a big team, we're a big team, we're a big team. No. Football has changed. So if football has changed, you also have to change some of your mentality, some of your thinking. You need to change all those things. And for me, Kotoko, I've said it long ago. The FA Cup is over. The league is over for Kotoko. The earlier they begin to prepare for next season, it is better for them.
Okay. Finally on this point, coach, before we move on. You say that they need to start thinking about next season. As they do that, would you advise them to bring the permanent head coach now?
No.
Or wait until the season ends?
No, they should allow Prince to continue.
Okay.
But they should have negotiations ongoing. I mean, of course, if you are bringing in a coach to come and take over Kotoko, he can be behind and probably monitoring the team, moving around, monitoring the team, probably whether he's going to bring his backroom staff, whether he's going to do a lot of things. He needs to do all those things. Also be monitoring some of the teams or the other teams.
Yeah.
If he feels that this is what I will need, by the time the season ends, then you bring him in. So he'll just come in and say that I just came and I want to maintain these players. So if probably I'll see whether through the preseason they'll be doing well or not. No. As it stands now, you cannot win the league.
Okay.
A team like Kotoko should not be fighting for top 4. As Kotoko should not be fighting for top 4. They should be fighting for the top spot.
Well, as you said, the game has changed.
No, that is why I'm saying that if the game has changed and if we also want to change, if Hasan Kotoko should change now, they should be on top. I'm not saying that Adriana, Gold Stars, Mediama, and the rest are no, credit to them. Because they've seen something that has changed and they've also changed.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
You understand?
That is true.
9 or so games to go or so, or 10 games or so to go. You are changing your coach. You are definitely in the league. You cannot win the league, and you are aware that a lot of the board was just appointed about some few days ago.
Yeah, last week.
And there are rumors going on that they are looking for a CEO.
Well, do you want to apply? Ray, don't you want to apply for the Asante Kotoko CEO job?
Oh, if I'm considered, why not?
Sporty FM.
Do you have to be considered before you apply?
If I'm considered.
No,
they said they are looking for one.
So I don't want to apply.
You don't want to. No problem.
I want to be headhunted.
No problem. I think Wednesday we'll get into that. Wednesday we'll take time to dissect this Asante Kotoko thing. Let's move on. Coach, another result that surprised me, right, was Dreams FC beating Adriana. Of course, I know you say that Dreams at Tuba, yes, but I actually expected Adriana to get something from this game.
You remember I told you about Adriana, when they go away, they play the low block, they try to defend very well, make sure that they pack their midfield, very solid midfield, the likes of Raymond Ajima, the likes of Bafama, the likes of Seydou Sana. They are tough customers in midfield. So if you are very, very critical and you want to go to the general team, you need to press them, you need to commit them with the ball. Obviously, there may be a caution from the referee, the way they tackle. And in the second half, they open up. And I told you about John Entry inclusion in the Dreams FC team. He's been one player that He's inspiring the young players.
FM.
He's motivating them. He's coaching them. I mean, on the field of play. No wonder he was the one who had the goal for Dreams FC. I mean, Benjamin Chivano had the red card in the game.
Yes.
You see, and Adriana at home, the fans always give them a lot of pressure. So they enjoy playing away even than home. They've drawn most of their games at home, but they've won more games away. So it tells you that Dreams FC, after after losing to Karela United at Tuba, it was a difficult task for them. They went to Nations, they had a point. So they felt that, look, after playing Adriana, they are going all the way to Samates, Samaboy. It's a difficult ground, so they need to win at Tuba. I wasn't surprised. I told you about how the likes of Al Latif, the likes of Suraj Sedu, and of course John Entry himself will be able to marshal and how Dreams FC play, especially in the second half. So I wasn't surprised they were able to beat Adriana, but Adriana wasn't just a mere passengers in the game. They came into play, they came into fight. But to give credit to the Dreams FC boys, their mentality was totally different.
Adriana losing that game by a goal to 0. Let's run through some of the other results. Holy Stars beating Pando Heart of Lions by a goal to 0. Heart of Lions had to travel all the way to go to Holy Stars. That's a very long journey. And knowing our Ghana Premier League clubs, they don't travel early.
I've said many times that, look, Johnson Smith is yet to lose a game when he took over at AAK Sports Arena at Zima. Heart of Lions, when they lost to Gold Stars and they were going, I told you that they will come back and then probably they will come and fight for points in their home game against Swedo or Blacks.
Yes.
It was a difficult day. I mean, Prince Chinebwa was all over the place. He scored a goal. Heart of Lions has struggled this season, and he asked himself how many times. That was why Raymond was was talking about it. They have really, really disappointed me, because I was one of the people who spoke about Heart of Lions winning the league because of their consistency, because of their technical team, how they've been consistent, their playing body, how they have individual good players, and also played at least 2 seasons together. So I knew they were going to win the league and they were going to surprise clubs. Even at the top 4, they exhibited some kind of game that people thought, look, this is the Heart of Lions. But when the league kickstart, you know, Elikondo is sending a message telling me that I'm trying to favor my friend Ibrahim Tanko because I said he's leading with 1 point. But I said they all started from 0.0. But if a team has been able to catch up, when they started, where was Gold Stars? Were they not in the team?
Yeah.
So I will still give credit to Ibrahim Tanko and his team because they are on top.
Okay.
They are on top. They all started from. I don't think Gold Stars is having an outstanding. They must have an outstanding.
No.
So when they started and they were playing, what was Gold Stars doing?
Yeah, but coach, if you make that point, then it kind of supports Elikondo's point that then you have to give Gold Stars some credit.
I've not said no. Remember I said that they have proven that they are the true defending champions of the league.
Yes,
so I'm giving them credit.
Yes, it's true.
When was the last time a defending league champion pushed like this in the league? So it means I've given them credit.
True.
But I still have to say that Tanko have done well with Mediama. He's still on top because we all started from 0.0. At a point I pushed, and you have gradually coming. So I also have to give you credit. But at the start now, they are on top of the league.
Top of the table.
So whether I'm favoring him or not, I love the way they are playing. And Gold Stars have wonderful players, and they are also doing well. And you cannot take anything away from Accra House of Folk. You understand my point? Irrespective of the position of House of Folk, they also stand the chance of winning the league. But at this very moment, who is on top of the league? The one on top of the league is the one I'll keep on giving credit.
Yeah.
Because they also believe that, look, even with the 1 point, they can still win the league. Do you get my
It's
point?
very possible.
Yes. So, Ellie, whatever your friend is, go and support him.
All right, Holy Stars, you're talking about that game.
Yes. So for me, let's give credit to them. Their next game is Accra to play House of Folk. A difficult task. They start home, they play 2 games, they beat Samates. And of course, they beat what's the name? Heart of Lions.
Yeah.
So 6 points. So they are coming home. They know it's going to be a difficult task. And as of course, after losing to Gold Stars, they will love to win again at the Legon Sports Stadium. They are yet to lose a game at the Legon Stadium. And the last time Basaka visited here, I mean, the performance was very poor. That was against 11 Wonders.
Yes.
Very, very poor performance. But this is football. So let me give credit to them for them beating Heart of Lions because they've made their home a fortress.
They have. Heart of Lions losing that game on the road. Nations FC beating Wonders. No surprises there. Wonders, some way, it looks like, I mean, you have already relegated them that they are not going to survive. So Nations FC got their 3 points.
Oh, it was a game that, yes, we all said it here. Nations didn't warm up. Their bus broke down, so they got to the stadium when the warm-up session is over. So you realize that in the first half of the game, they were a bit strugglish. But at the end of the day, they were able to play. I mean, the likes of Emmanuel Lano, Joseph Ifa, Razak Simpson, they did very well. For 11 Wonders to put their captain, Ejenim Boateng on the bench for him to come in the second half, that it clearly tells you that they've lost vim. They've lost everything. They've already been relegated. They are the matter of day waiting for Congress to approve it. They are gone.
No, I'm worried. And last week, Ray, I made this point last week about Wonders and their competitive nature with the rest of the games. Right? It doesn't, and as coach said, it doesn't look like mentally they are in the league. It looks like they've checked out.
I said that.
So don't you think that we need to stop them from playing?
Oh, Nathan, at this point,
no, they've not shown anything that they don't
have
play.
to allow
They
them to
yes,
continue
they have to play.
You know, because Nations got their fair share of their 3 points.
Now, that is the first away
Next
win
weekend.
for Nations. And Frimpong was happy about
First
it.
away win.
Yes, in the league, when Frimpong took over.
So all the
That's quite
So all the
disappointing.
teams will just play
Yes.
their-
Yes.
And this time they are going to Doma to play Diana.
You know, if two teams have disappointed me this season, Lions and
Very.
Nations.
Yeah.
Lions.
True.
Very disappointing.
Lions have really disappointed me. You
Rangers
see,
Lions.
they started very
They have
well.
really, really disappointed.
They started well. And then that
See what they've
extended run between November and maybe February or so, when they didn't win a game. That's so terrible. Are they telling me that they couldn't get home wins? Going away wins? How? As for Nations FC, they are even more disappointing. This team was on its way, I think, to winning the league last season.
Yes.
And they destroyed their own thing. No problem. That's gone. But how can you start this season very poorly? It was so poor the way they started after all the big talk. And I thought in my mind, coach, that at this point it would be Nations, maybe Mediama. And I even thought Asante Kotoko, because of how they ended last season, they would push and be part of the mix. Those were the three teams I had amongst my picks. Nations, Mediama, Asante Kotoko. And Nations and Kotoko all over the place.
Nations, I think, managerial changes here and there.
The season didn't start well for them.
Mengele and Johnson
Yes,
Smith were
yes,
booted out.
yes.
Thomas who came in, he has to also change the style a bit. Mengele had his own style. The three back.
The three
Thomas
back.
has to change some of the actors, the players. You could clearly see some new players in the team. He needs to put up. Probably you give them that benefit of the doubt. But I think that at home they are super. Play very well.
Yeah,
But when they go away from home, they struggle. And that is the first away win.
They
And
had
no
to
other
come
team
against
than the whipping side
11 Wonders.
of the side.
The worst team in the league. All right, coach, let's try and wrap it up. Hawaii 1, Samatech 0.
It was a game that Hawaii needs to win at all costs because they are going to Takwa to play Mediama. After Mediama going away twice and not being able to win all the 3 points, it's going to be a difficult one. But you cannot write anything away because Hawaii went all the way to Doma to pick a point.
Yeah.
That is a very difficult venue.
Yeah.
They're coming home to play Samatex. Although Samatex missed some opportunities that I believe they could have also hit the back of the net. But at the end of the day, credit goes to the home side, Hawaii United, by winning that game. I mean, going to Takwa to play Mediama is a difficult game. But at the end of the day, they feel that picking all the 3 points before that game was good.
The other...
I think Bechem United were held.
Bechem drew goalless
Yes,
with Karela.
I think I have to applaud Karela because in this game I thought that Bechem were going to at least pick a point or a slim win. I mean, I even predicted August Ogra was going to
I
score
remember that.
and it didn't happen. So let me give credit to Coach Nuru Ahmed and his players. After coming to beat Dreams FC, they went all the way back to beat Hawaii 11 Wonders by 2 goals. So of course I think that they are also coming up gradually. They didn't start well, but I think that in the last 2 seasons they've battled relegation, and this time based on the position, I think Haruna Duso has even commented them that for the last 2 seasons they've struggled, but this time based on their position they will build upon it and probably come next season they'll be strong. So They did very well by picking. You know, they are going to Aliyu Muhammad Sports Stadium to wait for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. And of course, Bichim is coming to play Vision. They are coming to play Nations FC at Abrankese. It's going to be very, very difficult. And I think the last game was Pinima Meshao.
Chelsea won.
I told you.
Young Apostles.
I told you. It's going to be Prima Meshao. 90th minute equalizer from the Coupe Chelsea.
Last week, people didn't understand the Pinima Michel. Explain it to Ellen.
Yeah.
I will explain Caribbean.
Explain the
Pinima Meshao. The point difference was just one. You understand? And I lost to Kumasi Asante Kotoko at Wenchi. So if I'm coming to Brikum, you came to pick a point from House of Folk. So if I'm coming to Wenchi, it's either we draw or I'll put you in the soup. Pinima Meshao. So Apostle took the lead. Hey, Chelsea, yes, they took the lead. Chelsea have to fight and battle Samabodu. All angles. He has to go into his books, brings on the tactics and system, and then 10 minutes line, they had the equalizer.
Sure.
So Young Apostles picking that point, going back to Wenchi to host the defending champions, the second team on the league was Bebeni Gold Stars, a better team away performer. Look, it's going to be a cracker. It's going to be a cracker.
Hey.
So Pinima Michel.
The league standings. Mediama 46 points, Gold Stars 45, Hearts of Oak 40, Kotoko 39, Adriana on 38, Summertex on 36, Karela 35, Holy Stars 32, Nations FC 31, they are 9th, Vision also 31. Hold on, let me check. Holy Stars, okay, 35, Nations 32, Vision 31, Dreams 30.
No, Nations 31.
Okay, Nations 31, Vision 31. Okay, Dreams 30. Sorry, the table they do something. Heart of Lions also 30, Bechem 30, All Blacks on 28, Brekum Chelsea 28, and then the bottom 3, Honhoe United on 27, Young Apostles 27, 11 Wonders on 9. That's for 11 Wonders. We've said it. They are gone.
They are gone.
They are gone.
So you see,
Sporty FM.
Young Apostles is going home to play Gold Stars. It's more or less they are playing away because it's going to be a tough game. They have 27 points. Hohoi have 27 points. They are going to Takwa, another difficult game for them. So let's assume both teams loses their points.
So that's 27. They stay on 27.
They stay on 27. Brekum Chelsea is going to Vision. And looking at the position,
they are coming to Tema.
Tema Vision is having 31. Brekum Chelsea is having 28. So Chelsea should win. They pair with
Vision on 31.
So whether Vision is going to lose or they are going to draw, somebody is going to win. If they fail to win, they are going to stay at 28. All Blacks is also having 28. And no, All Blacks is having 28.
All Blacks 28.
And they are going to Pando to play Heart of Lions.
Face Lions.
And Heart of Lions is having 30. So if they should beat Lions over there, it means they are going 31. Lions is going to stay at 30.
But Lions' home form,
it's not too good.
It's not too good.
It's not too good.
I've watched them play 2 games at home this season, and in those performances, I was not convinced.
I spoke to Coach Mingle last night around 9:30 p.m. and he said, "Look, we could have won the game against Mediama. They had a very good goalkeeping, but for them, they know they are going to Pando to beat Out of Lions." He was bold enough to tell me yesterday. I said, I'm going to beat him. So it's a challenge to Heart of Lions whether they will stay at home and lose 3 straight games, meaning they lost to Gold Stars, Baseke, and then they are going to play All Blacks. So it's going to be a difficult
Lions have to improve at home.
And Dreams FC also have 30 points. They are going to Samatex.
That's a tough one.
We
know Samatex's home form. Very, very good.
Tough one.
Very, very, very good. Lions I'm worried about because of the very patchy home form they have. Meaning that Ray, what is it that you are saying? This thing that isn't related to the football they are playing. Anyway,
so we've gotten to a point where
but the team,
very interesting.
The team's in trouble. Let me show you. If you take out Wonders from Holy Stars down to Apostles, nobody is safe.
Yes.
Holy Stars are on 32, Nations 31, Vision 31, Dreams 30, Lions 30, Bechem 30, All Blacks, Chelsea and Co. They are all not safe. If you are not careful and you lose 2 straight games, that's it for you. 2 straight games and you are you've been sucked right into the mix
So
of
from the
relegation.
8th position
8 to 17.
to 17th,
Nobody is safe there.
because Holy Stars is having 32. They are coming to play Accra Suffolk. So if they should lose that game and Vision should win, Vision will go to 34.
34.
If Nations should win, Nations will go to 34. If Dreams to win,
They'll go to 33.
33. So ahead of them. If Heart of Lions should beat, wow.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Nobody is safe. See, the only teams safe in this team or in this league are teams that have 35 points and above.
Yeah.
Karela, Samatex, Ediana, Kotoko, Hearts, Gold Stars, and Mediama. Those are the teams that they can save. They are
But seriously, I'm afraid for Hohoi and the Young Apostles.
It's true.
Young Apostles is playing at home, though they are playing home. I'm afraid Gold Stars might beat them.
It's true.
Hohoi United to TNA, I'm afraid they will not come back with points. So meaning that they are going to stay at the 27-27. And if you stay at 27 for Berekum Chelsea Vision, I doubt Chelsea will win. Will get a point from that.
They're
game.
going to Tema.
I doubt.
Yeah, it's true.
I doubt.
Chelsea don't travel well.
They've not won a game away from home. They had just a point in the House of Four game, but I doubt they will be able to get a point. All Blacks, 28 points. I also doubt they will be able to beat Heart of Lions, but they believe that they will go and win. They will go and win at that point, but I doubt it. And then Bechem United to Nations FC, another cracker for Coach Emisa. You know, he's a former coach of Nations. In the Division 1 league. He started with them before he left for Johnson Smith to take over. And now Frimpong Manson has come in. And of course, so he's going back home. He knows the venue very well. But let's see how it goes. I'm sure by Friday, we should be able to know some of the minuses and pluses of how the teams are preparing and all that. And how the approach will be.
Well, that's what's happening in the Ghana Premier League. If you look at the top scorers chart, we usually don't mention them, but let me give you a few. Atakumi, Bibiani Gold Stars on 10 goals. Augustino Crab, Bechem United on 9. Emmanuel Lano, Nations FC on 8. Richmond Opoku, Young Apostles on 8. And then Prince Trinidad, Holy Stars on 7. Those are the top 5 scorers. Wow.
You see,
the top scorer has
when it comes to goal scoring in our league, I always have issues with it. As at week 24, we have our top scorer has 10 goals. Yeah. It's below. But
it's not good.
I think we also give credit to the goalkeepers and the defenders. They've also done very well. For us to play 24 games and just concede 9 goals tells you that it's not easy getting the balls behind defenders like Ali and then Osa SCB. So let's see how it goes. He's determined of winning the goal king. At the end of the day, if he should even win the goal king with 15 goals, he's our goal king.
Yeah.
So let's see how it goes. He's done very well. He's done. Atakumi has done well.
Nathan, why is coach running away from Benjamin Asari's performance in the game?
Oh,
you consider 2 goals.
Okay.
Oh, do you want to? Can I ask?
You remember I said it here?
Goals.
No, you remember I said
you said it was going to be Asari. You said it was a tough test for
Yes, this is the test for Asari. You remember I said that here?
You did.
Raymond, I did said here that it is a tough and there are rumors going out now that the 2 goalkeepers of Wasafuk are going to the World Cup.
There are rumors, but this one there are rumors.
Yeah. Oh, it's true.
But when I told you that I've seen Agbasi's name,
that is a rumor out there. But I'm saying that if it is true,
on the plane to
if it is true,
Austria,
then I think that Wasafuk needs to give the young man opportunity to be imposed to.
That's the point.
Because look, I think this is the 8th game that he has not been imposed.
That's unfair.
And it will not be good on the head of the technical handlers of the Blasters for a goalkeeper who is good but has not been imposed to be part of the Blasters to still go and sit on the bench.
Okay, but
it will not be fair. But looking at Emmanuel Kobe, looking at Felix Che, they're all doing well consistently. And when I was in the car listening to Raymond, our players are playing 45 minutes, someone is playing 12 minutes and all that. But someone who is not getting playing time, that one you don't want to talk about it.
Adasi.
I don't know his name. No, I'm one person who has rooted from day one for Solomon Agbashi when Asare was injured.
We saw what he did.
And I've said it many times and I continue to say that when given opportunity, I would love to see Solo there. But as of folk, so try even if after every 3 games you give him another game, after 4 games you give him 2 games, it will keep him match fit. It will give everybody the opportunity to to speak about it.
It's true.
But whereby Asari is our number one, there's no way the Black Stars technical team is going to drop Asari. There's no way. He has proven beyond doubt that he's the number one. But there's a certain goalkeeper, when Asari got injured, he also came to light and also proved that, look, he's equally good. Just 2 seasons ago, he was number one in Africa during the Confederation Cup. So what stopped Hasselhoff? In 5 games, you give Asari 3, you give Solo 2. With that one, you can justify why he should be there. In any case, but whereas he's not being imposed and someone is doing very well somewhere in our league.
So it's true. And then
that is my worry.
When that person gets picked, then you come and say, oh, why wasn't this goalkeeper looked at? Meanwhile, you haven't given him.
You see, it's a big worry. But there's a big rumor out there that he's part of the team. Okay, and there are only two players that will join the Black Stars from our local league. No, that is the rumor.
No, but Nathan, on this goalkeeping issue, Agbasi may be on the bench, yes.
Yes.
That is correct.
Yes.
But a lot of national teams will go to the World Cup with second goalkeepers or third goalkeepers.
Yeah, they'll take about 3 or 4.
Regular playing time. But they know their work, they know their quality.
Yes.
Okay. And it's happened in time past. We've seen some players at the World Cup. Goalkeepers.
Oh, then the day was going.
No, I mean, no.
It doesn't mean that they
goalkeeping.
What do I know?
Goalkeeping is a very, very, very unique role.
Okay.
So that even if you have 3 goalkeepers,
yes,
2 of them are going to be on the bench, waiting for number 1 to get injured or get sent off or anything before they come in.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So if you take 3 goalkeepers, only 1 may play all the games at the tournament.
Yes, very likely. It's very likely that's one.
Yes. Same way. Yes. If you have 2 very, very, very good goalkeepers in the same team, only 1 may keep the post the entire season. But that doesn't mean number 2 may not be qualified to man the post.
You are getting it wrong. Do you know why?
No. I'm coming.
When you go to the EPL, for instance, they have a lot of competitions. Let's take Arsenal, for instance. When it comes to the FA Cup, Kepa is the one who has been there. Carabao, it can be David Raya. When it comes to the Champions League, it can be this. But in this case, Hasselhoff doesn't have any competition to play apart from friendly matches at their training ground.
So, coach, if De La Fuente calls Kepa, should I come and say, oh, you should have picked the
Bilbao goalkeeper? No, but Bilbao goalkeeper.
Kepa is in competition.
Who's there? Spain's number 1 is currently who?
I think it's
Unai Simon. Okay, so he's with Bilbao.
So should I come and say, oh, there's a goalkeeper doing well for Getafe. You should have gone for him instead of Kepa. He'll go for Kepa because of reputation.
Yes.
Because of
an experience.
Experience. Yes. Same way.
And he's still in competition. Add it. He's in competition.
How many competitions? How many?
He's playing the FA Cup. But in this case, you don't have any competition.
Nathan, again, if I pick Agbasi, the argument I'll make for Agbasi will definitely be from 2 years done before.
2 years ago. Yes.
Okay.
Agreed.
Where he's been.
Yes. Agreed.
In terms of his goalkeeping.
And that will not
and a
be
bit of
too
what he's shown
fair.
us. Yes. And a bit of what he's shown us this season.
Yes.
He's shown us that, look, without doubt, he's a competent pair of hands.
Good.
Okay, he's a good goalkeeper.
Good.
And so, if Asari is going to the World Cup,
good,
and I say Agbasi, good, come along, I know what Agbasi can give me.
No problem. But what I'm saying is that we have goalkeepers in the league. Felix Shave in Mediama. They are on top. Emmanuel Kobe of Gold Stars. They are the defending league champions. He was imposed for them last season, and he's still been consistently playing match day.
We saw him in Africa.
You see, that is the problem.
We saw him in Africa.
You said that. Africa.
No, but we saw him in Africa.
Agbasi didn't win the trophy. We saw Felix Shave with Mediama in the Champions League. He didn't win the Africa, but he has participated in the competition. So he has gained some experience as Solomon Agbasi. And I'm saying that Hasselhoff should give him a bit much playing time.
They should give him some games.
Yes, that's what I'm calling for. You understand? I'm not saying he's not. He's very good.
Agbasi's talent is not in doubt.
I agree.
Okay, Ray, don't you think
I'll pick Agbasi any day?
No, there's no problem about it.
Okay, Ray, so you are saying that you are saying that irrespective of Agbasi's situation now, if you were picking a Black Stars 26, you would still pick Agbasi.
I'll still pick Agbasi. Yes.
Okay, based on what?
Based on what he's done before, his experience.
Okay, what about current form? Doesn't current form say anything?
Current form. When Asari was injured.
Yes.
Really?
That was how long, Coach? That was how many games? About 5 games.
Yeah, about
6 games.
Yes. And did he do well or not? Absolutely.
Okay, but Ray, we talk about consistency and playing time being one major criteria.
That's what I'm saying. Goalkeepers,
for choosing.
You see, goalkeepers. You see, the role goalkeeping. It's a very strange one. It's a very unique one.
Yes, I understand that.
It's you talk about game time for a goalkeeper, and it's almost as if anytime you're on the bench, you must be ready. Anytime,
and there are good goalkeepers who has been imposed for 2-3 seasons consistently.
Should be
and still doing well.
Okay, the reserve goalkeeper almost always should be at the level of the first goalkeeper.
Fair point. But Ray, what about?
And that's it.
Ray, so what will be your counter to the argument, coach, and many others? And I like the argument that, okay, if you say you are taking Agbasi as number 2, or let's say you are taking Agbasi to the World Cup, let's say because maybe you are taking 4 goalkeepers, or maybe 3, let's say even 3. If it is Agbasi you want to take, why are you not taking Kobe or Che or some of the other goalkeepers who have been around and have consistently featured in the Ghana Premier League for the last 2 years at least?
Well, I'm looking at the standard. I'm looking at what they've been able to do, those goalkeepers.
Yes.
I'm looking at what they've been able to do in Africa. And I'm looking at what they've been able to do this season. Okay. Coach can make the argument that, oh yes, he won the league with his club last season. This season he's performing at a very high level.
Yes.
When we went to Africa, what did he do? What did we see him do? Okay. Again, same for Mediama goalkeeper. Felix Che. Again, I'll look at Felix Che and say, well, look,
Sporty FM.
what has he done this season? How good is he? What skill does he have that I may not get from Atizigi or Benjamin Asai?
Or
Okay.
Jojo.
And in terms of
Well,
of course, or even Anand. And then I'll look at his level of experience again and say, well, maybe everything he has, I am seeing in goalkeeper A or goalkeeper B. So I don't need that same profile of goalkeeper. That's possibly a coach's decision. But I'll look at Agbasi again and say, well, it's possibly very different from all the goalkeepers I have. There's something about him that's very different. And again, his experience, even on the African continent. Look, if you talk about a goalkeeper in the Ghana Premier League today, who has played CAF Inter-Club competition to the level of winning the best goalkeeper of the competition, you can only pinpoint Agbasi.
I get it, but
has been that goalkeeper.
But the point is that, Ray, that was 2 years ago. That was 3 years ago.
Ever since Asari got injured and we saw Agbasi in post,
Yes.
did it look like this goalkeeper hasn't been in post for a while?
No. But you see,
Good.
Ray, don't you think that
is how
don't you
good
think
we
to
can-
further help Agbasi, he will need games?
Well, I mean, if Didi feels he has games for him, why not? But Agbasi, at this point, I don't think that there's anything more Agbasi has to prove to anybody.
So you say that what? Based on everything that
Based
is
on
happening,
reputation,
if
based
you
on
were, for example, if you were picking 3 goalkeepers
Yes.
for the Black Stars, it's Ben Asari,
Agbasi,
Solomon Agbasi,
Ziggy.
and Ziggy.
Yeah.
So those are the 3 you pick.
absolutely.
Nathan, I don't have any issue with that. I am just calling the
Has to give him games.
To give him games. Simple.
Coach, I agree with
It's
you.
very simple.
I agree with you on one reason only. That I think for Agbasi's own career progression, he needs games. And if I'm Agbasi, I will think long and hard about, okay, what do I do? I'm at Hearts of Oak. Everybody knows I'm a good goalkeeper. There's something I can offer this team.
Sporty
But there's Benasari, and you can tell that Benasari, as things stand, Hearts are playing the politics. You can't fault them. Everybody plays politics.
Oh, yes,
They
yes.
are playing the politics because it is their goalkeeper who's national team
And their
number 1
captain.
now, and their captain. So they have 2 reasons. Listen, sorry, Calvin and Raymond are doing ajibaji here. Calvin wants to take something of Raymond's. What's in?
This one, holy water.
It's holy water,
Spiritual water.
spiritual water.
This is what I used to see.
And Calvin wants to take it away from me. Of course.
You want to start seeing things.
So look, I don't know, Kelvin. I don't know what you think. Michael Asaibedu, thank you for joining us. I'll bring you in a bit. But Kelvin, your thoughts on this? As we wrap up the Ghana as we're wrapping up, something came up about goalkeeping. This is the argument on the table. Yeah. Coach Sefa says that he believes Hearts should deliberately give Solomon Agbasi games. Yeah. He believes that Agbasi has earned the right to be in the post and to get some game time at Hearts. Despite the politics and everything they want to do, he thinks Hearts should deliberately give games to Agbasi. I agree. And my agreement is based on his own career development and progression. Raymond says that he thinks that it doesn't matter if Agbasi gets games or not. Agbasi should go to the World Cup because of reputation, because of what we've seen him do in the CAF Confed Cup. I don't know where you stand in this very strange argument we are having.
Both are being right, but I think Abasi can only go when he has games. He needs to be a bit competitive, and that is why I like what coach is saying. There are certain games deliberately you just keep Abasi in post, and you allow Benjamin Asari to rest. We've said it time and time again. There's until an injury or something extremely unfortunate or untoward happens. There's no way Benjamin Asari is not going to the World Cup, and the coaches have entrusted faith in him as Ghana's number one.
Yeah.
So if you want Abasi to join the train, which some of us, I believe that if you put Abasi there, Abasi should be rated than Joseph Annan. I don't see how Joseph Annan from wherever he is should come and play, and then Abasi would be. Abasi has a lot of future ahead of him.
Yeah, he's
arguably one of the most complete goalkeepers I have seen. Ball playing, shot stopping.
He was a striker when he signed for Dreams FC.
You're joking.
Yeah, he was a striker.
He was a striker.
But later on, he chose to be in post. He decided the question was thrown to him. Yes.
Okay, what did they see that? What prompted the
so
question?
we give credit to the Dreams FC scouts.
Yes,
I'd like to know that story.
Gigi and the rest.
Luckily he was trained by Aspire, so he had that quality. He had those qualities. It's like when Felix and Samade told him, gentleman, after this game, you are staying in the post. There is no way I'm going to allow you to be an outfield player again.
Oh, Felix was also an outfield player. Which position?
He was also a forward.
Why the forwards and being goalkeepers?
So one of the weekends, one of the goalkeepers was suspended. The other got ill. It was like, gentlemen, go and be in the post, and that was it.
It changed Felix.
So you just see the skill set that he has. With his foot. I think Abasi should be given games. Hatterfolk should find a way around it. I don't think it's too much to ask for. And let's not forget that when he's in post, it's also difficult to beat him, just like it's difficult to beat Asari. Both of them, the games that they've been distinguished themselves.
When I watch the two of them play, I agree with you on when you watch Abasi play, you can tell that he's almost like he looks like your archetypal goalkeeper. He looks like a goalkeeper, right? Quick on his feet, agile, can play and everything. I think Asari's biggest attribute that a lot of goalkeepers don't have is composure.
Yeah, and his control over the defense.
Yeah, when you watch Ben Asari in post, what he has over a lot, very good. What he has over a lot of the goalkeepers in the Ghanaian Premier League is the ability to guide his backline, go here, move here. And he's constantly talking to them. A lot of goalkeepers don't do it. Yeah, they just stay in their post when it comes.
Once in a while, yes.
But I noticed that a lot in the Super Clash.
Yes,
when Hearts went one up, when one man down, and the game was
that has been
was threatening to go back and forth. He was he was telling them, calm down. We have the goal. They don't have the calm down. And anyway. So you agree with Coach Abasi needs to get minutes, or else Hart cannot make a strong argument for his inclusion. Michael Asari, let me bring you in. Where do you stand on this? What are your thoughts on this argument with different arms and legs that this discussion we are having as we were trying to wrap up the Ghana Premier League segment of the show? Michael, you're muted.
This is Sporty FM, the voice of sport.
Okay, we can't hear Michael. Guys, can we figure out what the issue is? Is it from Michael's end?
No.
I don't know whether it's from his end. Okay, we still can't. Michael, we'll have to figure it out. Calvin, you make your point as we try to sort Michael's
Coach Vince also. Did you listen to the post game?
No. I read quotes from Mohamed Kamara, who spoke about the fact that they were disappointed they couldn't close the game out and they couldn't win. They had a man advantage.
Yeah. And then the coach was saying we're forcing them, referee giving them yellow cards. Who cares? Win your games. What's that? Bro, for the coaching. I was heavily surprised a team like Asante Kotoko's coach after a game against Vision Football Club, not any other team, at the Baba Sports Stadium. After traveling to go and beat Young Apostles in Winchi 2-0, you come and sit at home and you draw goalless with a man advantage over your opponent. Vision. And you want to justify it by those comments. Well, I don't know, but some of us said it, I agree with some of the fans who did not want him. Just that the approach with which they started going to the training grounds in that volatile manner wasn't acceptable.
Yeah.
But on any day, I don't think this coach can have Asante Kotoko.
But he's
no.
Sincerely,
If he had won this game 41 points, he'd be 5 points closer to Mediama, who are currently struggling. Gold Stars are just a point behind them.
Yep.
Ask yourself, if Kotoko had kept a little bit of consistency with their home games, even, they could be making a good shout for themselves. Now look at the league table. Folk lost yet, but you still cannot close it. And now, just this morning, they've announced they've lost another player through injury. That is the deputy captain of the team, Lord Amwa, an anterior cruciate ligament.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Lord is out. He has an ACL.
Yes, Lord is out again.
Oh, no.
So they've communicated he's going to be... He got hurt in their previous game against Young Apostles.
Oh, no.
Now, ask yourself, Kotoko had Kote with the same problem.
Yeah, Kote had an ACL.
Shaibu came, played in the preseason top 4.
ACL.
He got the same problem. Lord Amwa recovered, and now he's on the sidelines again. ACL.
Wow.
All 3 right backs. Now the question is, what is it? What is wrong? This gives credit that at times some of us, you read meaning into it spiritually. Obviously, yes. You cannot take that one out. But
Raymond's special area.
I ask myself, how is it that all these happening to right backs, three solid right backs, and these are very quality players that on any day you would want to have, have actively playing and helping the team to success. So
wow.
Yes, so that is Kotoko's bane again. Now it means another makeshift. Hamzata or Joseph Amwa would have to be going in there. I don't know how Prince also is going to.
But okay, so were the injuries sustained in matches?
Yes. All the players that had the injury sustained in matches. Shaibu was at training.
Now, could they quickly tell what it was?
You remember? It was at top for the University of Ghana Stadium.
After that, he went off. He went to play the Champions of Champions with Gold Stars. He started.
No, it was Hamza Tat, right?
No. He started before Hamza came on.
No.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. And
Shaibu couldn't.
Kote too. Happened at training.
And now Lord Amwa from a game. So the question is, what is wrong? And these are.
But were they able to diagnose very quickly that it was an ACL?
Yeah, Kotoko has one of the best medical teams in the country. Just like we said, if you have a Black Stars physiotherapist, SK on your, and you have Dr. Espe Chumesi, from Konfanochika orthopedic department.
This
you know
is
that
terrible.
They have quality. The likes of Backward and all, they've been so.
This is really terrible. Kotoko have lost 3 right backs.
Yeah, 3 right backs. ACL. Yeah. From last season until this time. They need to. Yeah, it's quite unfortunate, but that does not excuse them from what, the kind of display they put up and not being able to convert chances. Yeah. It's bad. But, Nathan, remember I spoke about the Super Clash and the hanging deliveries. Yes. Yesterday, did you see that delivery from the Gold Stars player? It was sharp. It wasn't hanging. Bernard. It wasn't hanging. And when that cross came, did you see where the goalkeeper was? He couldn't come for it. That is a major problem.
Yeah.
Bukayo Saka will send this in. Anthony Gordon will send this in. Yes. And by the time you realize Harry Kane will be there, he won't let those balls go. So that's unless maybe Jiku is able to deal with them. But how many times
you've mentioned that, Coach? I don't know if you remember when we played. Was it Mali or Comoros? One of the games, the last 2 games of the qualifiers, I think. Yeah. There was a cross where Ajete went for it and he got beaten. And then the cross came in and Asari was caught in no man's land, whether to go or come back. Fortunately for us, the header went past the post.
Sometimes it comes with communication. Defending in corner kicks.
This was even open play.
Yes, so it has to go with communication. There are some defenders who have got the jumping power. There are others who doesn't have, but they try to close you down so that they will force you not to be able to jump well. So when the ball comes within some certain areas of the penalty, as a goalkeeper, you should be able to come out very strong. Other than that, you'll be punished. That is why when it comes to corner kicks, Arsenal's players will go and stand just right in front of the goalkeeper, make sure that they will confuse the defenders to come. So if you are not full concentrated, by the time you think you want to go up, the ball is already at the back of the net. Now the teams are also using it against Arsenal because they've seen that Arsenal are not secured when it comes to corner kick.
It's true.
And all that.
But even Arsenal
They
have
panic.
changed. Arsenal have changed their. They no longer. They don't hit it into the mixer anymore. It's almost like to the back post.
The teams have noticed,
And then somebody brings it back.
Of course, the video.
But I noticed that Chelsea played it on top of Raya, and then it forced Nkapie into the own goal. We'll get into that. But you are right about Asari's hesitance sometimes.
Yes.
To come out for the
About
cross, and I
decision
think the Black Stars technical will have to
Fatal together with
figure
Najao
it
Issa
out.
must
Yes,
combine
they
and
must
quickly
combine and
work
quickly
on
take
it.
it out of his game.
The Blasters. Are you talking about House of
Yes, had to.
So they have to deal with it,
Yes.
and then Fatal has to try and
also-
sharpen, because it's true. I've noticed when the cross is played, especially one that goes like from out to in, it's almost like he's okay. Should I go? Should I come? And in that second of hesitance, if somebody touches the ball, it's in the net.
And that is what Ziggy is very good at.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Ziggy is a collector.
Ziggy is a collector. I can give you 2 goals we considered at the World Cup where he didn't know what to do. Against Korea, the 2 goals we considered were all the same. Cross and head. The cross went in and out, and he was doing something in the post. I think it is coaching. Whoever is handling these 2 players, especially Benasari, at club level, quickly has to spot it and figure out how to fine-tune that error.
Fatal is here. He can be joining Najao Issa. Nothing spoils it. You know, or giving notes
need to work on
that.
that.
Please, this is something that I've realized. We need to work on it quickly.
The hesitance.
You can just work on it. But I think Kamara too had his A game yesterday, and
The coach was saying it was
Vision FC goalkeeper.
Vision
the two
FC
goalkeepers
versus
were,
Kamara.
were top.
No, by the first half, Kamara saved Kotoko for
Yeah.
considering at least 4.
Yes, that one is true. He was really.
That was why
a
when he came
savior
out
for
from
him,
his post to
also
not
knock
the
the
ball
ball.
for Morrison Dosu to do what he did was just annoying. Goalkeeper was forced to head the ball to straight. The ball was entering straight to the net. Though there was a player of Vision FC.
So just
Use your head to just direct the ball to the other side. You wanted to use your chest.
Donzo, I don't know what Donzo's problem is. I don't know where it's a lack of. Look, I think it's pure confidence. The confidence is all over the place.
It's not instinctive, and I think it's
you're right.
natural.
Yeah.
If you're not instinctive, you're not instinctive.
And as a striker, you should have it. The instinct to see.
Yes,
A goal
I
and-
can give you examples from the weekend games. Sheshko, the number of times he's connected to the he tried to connect to the ball. Shapi knows where the cross is coming from, how to direct it. Just that it was unfortunate until that goal came.
Yeah.
Do you see Aubameyang's goal yesterday? His movement and the run. If you don't
The
have
Marseille
it,
game,
you don't
yeah.
have it.
As a striker, you should know where to be at what point and
Exactly.
what point. And
I think part of it, you see, I think you can learn it. You can have the goal scoring talent,
remember I asked something. I asked a question.
but I think it can be coached into you.
That's why I said this morning that if I see such things, I ask myself, what do you do at training?
Yes. Coaching
I think
is
it can be
important.
coached into you.
Coaching is
Movement,
important, yes.
movement.
Because it's
where
like
to
building
go.
your confidence in the penalty area. It should be something players should be doing more often.
Yeah.
More often. Within the penalty balls, the moment
Work at it.
Yeah, work at it. Because you see, if you see a fullback running down the line, he's about to cross.
I watch players out there doing personal training with their coaches, and the way they turn, they shoot, they place, they know the position where the goal pole is. So when they found themselves in the penalty box, they know where to place the ball. It's not all goals that are. Look at Vinicius goal against Benfica. He just passed the ball.
Yes, pass the ball
He just
into the
passed the
net.
ball, and the goalkeeper had no answer to it. But a typical Ghanaian player would like to kill the goalkeeper.
Yes. Yesterday, look at even Alex Iwobi's goal. It wasn't a shot. He just used the inside of the foot to hit it.
You know,
more like a swerve, a low cross, and then by the time the goalkeeper realized the ball was in the
So
net.
you are right. Which goal? That was a particular good. Sheshko's goal against Fulham.
Yeah.
And then Gabriel Jesus.
Yes.
Where did Arsenal play that weekend? Leeds.
Leeds, yeah.
So I spoke about those 2 goals. Sheshko's goal. I always tell people that if you're a good striker, if you stand in the middle of the penalty area, you know that I am in the middle of the goal post. If I turn and shoot, it is going either to my left or right.
Morphin also had the same. You just came on, a loose ball was coming towards you. Turn and just hit the ball to the net, and he turned and he passed the ball to the goalkeeper.
Oh man. Anyway,
But I like what Gold Stars are doing. They're really giving Mediama a good chase.
Giving them
Yesterday, when Kotoko got the equalizer, I was like, come on, this game is done. Is done. But the sort of energy they played with to get the
When
second
you're playing
goal.
Hasselhoek and you have two strong strikers against their two strong centre backs, they have no option than to allow their pivot to drop.
Yeah.
So the loose balls that Ali picks. Yesterday he couldn't pick those loose balls because there were two strong strikers. There's the Burkinabe striker.
So one on him, one on Osesi.
And then Atakumi is also very strong. So when Boachi came on from the bench, fresh energy, strength and everything. So you saw the second goal. He just knocked the ball as if he has nobody's business.
Yeah.
But the moment you play one strike, like Kotoko yesterday, for instance, you are playing Abed Amwa, one top.
One versus two centre backs. The centre backs will win every day.
But can we review the 2 goals has conceded?
Asari didn't do well. No, I'll tell you. Asari didn't do
us to do.
Okay,
let's do a proper review.
All right, so
the 2 goals has conceded.
So me, the second goal is where I would blame one of the players, Martin Kakari. That lazy approach. When the winger got the ball, he had an opportunity to follow up, but he decided to stop and even turn towards as if it was a goal kick. If you see, you should force the player not to put in a decent cross. And I think that is what Didi Dramani has always been emphasizing. If you allow players to have their free mood, they will put in better deliveries.
That's true.
But if you have followed him, he would have been in 2 minds. Hey, should I cross quickly or take my time? But once you did not follow him, he had the ample time and space.
You see, the intention of Bernard was clear.
Yes.
When the ball came, he just passed the ball past Kakari and he raced faster. So the moment he got there, he has already spotted his player. He put a spin on the ball.
Yes.
So I felt that the 2 central defense of Hasselhoek should have dealt with it.
Sibi and Ali.
You understand? So Boachi went up first, and before Ali, or I think it was Sibi, before he could say Jack, the ball was at the back of the net.
Yeah.
And the first goal, for instance, you see the same 2 centre backs. A pass was given in between them.
Yes.
And how Kumi just plays the ball. That was why I thought that Asare could have done better, because it was just close to where the leg was. And for me, give credit to those goals that those 2 players from.
But I always say at least put in the effort, especially for Kakari.
Yeah.
You know, put in the effort.
Yeah.
When you put in the effort, you never know what could have happened.
It's the aspect of his game. It's the aspect of his game that worries me. I think it's too inconsistent when it comes to the effort.
Yes,
and the
I remember.
application.
That makes players
Hamza
different.
Issa went out, Abdul Karim went out.
Yes.
Goal Stars had extra energy to push
Exactly.
because there was no pressure on their 2 centre backs. Hamza is a forceful guy. I don't know whether he was tired. You know, he's coming out from injury. So I don't know whether he was tired.
I think they
That
just
was why
trying to protect him.
for Frank Duku Abra, I don't know. I've said it here. I don't know, but probably he came in with the Hasselhoek JC inside on the pitch, but I didn't know what he came. No, seriously, when those 2 changes were made, I think they made 3 straight changes.
Yeah.
And do you know the time they made the change? 86 minutes. The goal came at the 7th minute. So the players have not even warmed themselves in the game when that cross came. And that was the end of it.
Yeah.
That was the end of it. 86 minutes, 3 changes. 87th minute, the ball was at the back of the net.
Back of the net.
Of course, changes will always give teams
But you
fresh life.
you love the first half as a foot play.
Yeah.
Oh, serious.
It was a very good first half.
Yes.
Their problem is
Up to their equalizer, they had 8 touches of the ball.
yeah.
Without Goal Stars. It was a delight to watch.
a sweet build up to the
It was a
goal.
delight to watch.
Well,
You know, their problem, like I've said, scoring. You know, if you play delightful football, you're not able to
American English.
let's say cross the ball for them to get yellow card. Coach praising yellow card. But if I'm praising,
But it's all part of the tactics.
part of what
See,
that
when we went to coaching school,
you are who went to coaching school.
no, when we went to coaching
You and who
we
went
were
to
told-
coaching
We were told that
Uh-huh.
when you force your opponent into getting yellow cards, you weaken the opponent,
Okay.
the player himself.
Yes.
And
And
the
after
player is now thinking, hey, my next tackle possibly could get me sent off.
Yeah, but
so
but
it
if
reduces
you
his ability
weaken
to
them,
a-
And what was the
reduces
plan?
his ability to a certain
And what was the plan in making use of that ability that you have reduced?
Yeah, so
What did it
let your
amount to?
players, so you allow your players to put pressure on those players to the
And he didn't do
to
that.
get them to commit more.
And he
errors.
didn't do that. So it means that the yellow card was useless.
Well,
It was
anyway,
useless.
anyway, let's proceed. Okay, okay. I think Michael Asaibedu is on the line, right?
Yes.
We have him on the line on the phone. The Zoom was acting up. Michael, good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning, Nathan. I can hear you.
Wonderful. We had to get you on the phone. I wanted your thoughts on what we were discussing. I'm sure you have a few thoughts on the weekend's Ghana Premier League action before we talk about everything that happened in Europe.
I think whatever doubt that people had about Asante Kotoko and their ability to bounce back into the GPL title contention was laid very clear about the team not being ready. They just don't have a team that is capable of challenging for the title in almost every aspect. Their defense, their midfield, their attack. I think the attack is their major problem. But the team is just not ready, and it was well demonstrated in the game they played against Vision FC. Vision did defend very well, but then again the template was there. They had to study how Kotoko played against Accra as a folk, and then they knew that when they come here and then play up to a certain level and then set up defensively as per a certain structure, then they would definitely nullify the threat of Asante Kotoko. And it was evident. You check how they marked Albert Amo out of the game, was similar to how Accra as a folk did it. You check other instances where they were limiting spaces for players like Peter Midwakwa to run into. I think it was a well-coached Vision FC team. And then the performance the players demonstrated that they are in sync with what the coach wants them to do. Nana Jiman did not come, but Burton Wilson Asare definitely has experience and knowledge about this Asante Kotoko team. Let's not forget, he was working with them a couple of seasons ago, and so he clearly knows this team all too well. And he played a part in them drawing up a perfect game plan against them. But I think my interest rests in the discussion about the many injuries Asante Kotoko having to deal with.
I was quite surprised to hear the number. Kelvin telling us that Lord Amwa is the latest. I do remember it was you who even mentioned on the show before I got to know that Kote had suffered an ACL, but it looks like another one has been added to that list.
Exactly. I think it's their training grounds.
Wow.
Yeah, it's their training grounds. They would definitely need to give it a facelift. The pitch, the standard, the quality. And you see, these injuries, they build up. It is not just about the playing surfaces in the GPL. Players play on these surfaces once a week, but they train at their training grounds for several days. In a week, they can train like 5 times. So they are more frequent in terms of how they use their training facilities. And the playing surface at the Adakojachi training grounds needs to be looked at. At a point in time, Kotoko had to contend with as many as 15 players on the injury list with various muscle injuries. It is either joint injuries or muscle injuries, and these are all related to the exertions you give on the field of play. A club like Kotoko deserves more than they have at the Adakojachi training complex, and they've had a lot of injuries. You can look at other factors like their physical conditioning, their preparation towards the season and all that, but a lot of their injuries are suffered during training, and it occurs in some of these exchanges, playing on the surface, coming into contact with teammates and all the others. I think it is an issue that they really need to sort out. Kotoko needs a major facelift in terms of the Adakojachi training grounds. It is not one of the best. Yes, half of folk players, a lot of these GPL players, they play on almost the same surface that Asante Kotoko play on. So if it is that the Asante Kotoko players are getting injured, they would have to look at them internally. What are they giving the players in terms of the physical training or preparation, and then the facilities they use to train these players? I think it is the actual issue. And Lorama did not just get an ACL injury. It built up from somewhere. Okay. He had been carrying knocks. He has not been fully fit, but he's played in some games. And it all points to the fact that these are some of the minor injury problems he will encounter during training. Then it will build up to that level. So the first point I want to reference in the injury issues bedeviling Asante Kotoko is the Adakojachi training grounds. they need to have a critical look at it.
Wow. I'm quite sad, just hearing all of this. When these, has anybody averted the mind of the club to a possibility that maybe the training ground could be a major challenge? Has anybody thought about it? Has there even been a conversation around the training ground and the potential danger it's posing to players?
I think the IRs know for themselves. They know. The IMC, when they came, there was that pledge to come and then revamp the training grounds and improve the level of the facility. They brought some excavators, did some 1 or 2 skirmishes, but after a month or two, typical Asante Kotoko attitude, everything went off. Nobody's even talking about it again. They questioned the Kings project, and there was a lot of talk around it, the explanations and everything that they gave, but eventually it did not see the day of light. It did not see the light of day, sorry. And then, as it stands now, there's not been much work. The initial training playing surface they were using, they've stopped using that. And this was a surface that was developed by Mr. Apia and the former NSA regional director, together with some experts. But it is not up to the standard that you expect. It is not up to that standard. Anybody who has visited Asante Kotoko's training grounds will tell you the playing surface is not that level enough. Yes, you can see green grass, but as to whether it's conducive enough and it will not have any implications health-wise on the players, nobody can actually tell. But you see them play on it, and then the deduction you make is that this is not up to standard, and something must be done about it. Kotoko's problems goes beyond just playing on the football pitch for 90 minutes and not getting the results. I think it is a club that needs proper leadership and steering, a leadership structure that can run the club efficiently on all facets. So you do the technical side, you do the playing body, and also you look at the infrastructural development. Kotoko is lagging behind, and there is a lot that needs to be done. I think, yes, the talk is enough, the appointments will be done, but serious work must be done actually to transform the fortunes of the club.
On Wednesday, we'll talk a lot about the new board that's been set up. We'll get your thoughts. I'm sure Kelvin will be here. We'll get his thoughts as well on all of that. So we'll put that to the side. Let's hop on the jet and let's go to Europe, listeners. Remember that, listeners, a little later this morning, Yvonne Woyome will be here to talk about or to handle Total English Football, an exciting weekend of Premier League action. We'll get into that. But before we continue the conversation, let's not forget that Polytank Sumo Super is still on the market. The people at Polytank have brought the premium multiple layer Sumo Super Tank, and they are saying that between now and the end of March, you can get it, and you can also save 1,000 cedis. Remember, the Sumo Super is designed to last and is reinforced for superior durability. So don't miss this limited time offer. Visit any Polytank outlet today, ask for Sumo Super, and save over 1,000 cedis. Polytank, the original, always the best. Polytank, Papa Nankasa. Beware of fraudsters. Polytank does not request for Momo online. Now, football's biggest moment is almost upon us, and if you want to be part of the journey to the US and Canada, so are we. 90-year travel advisors and Venture G Travel are taking Ghana to the World Cup. From visa assistance to international flights to hotel stays, match tickets, and complete travel coordination, we manage every single detail so you can travel with confidence. This is about careful planning. This is about trust. It's about reliable support from start to finish. This is more than a trip. Visit the Accra office at Ablade Road in Kanda, opposite the Montcrest University. Call 059-125-8275 or 059-673-8545. Or you can send a WhatsApp message to 055-221-2650 or 001-571-229-6900 to secure your place at the 2026 World Cup. 90-year travel advisors and Venture G Travel, your complete World Cup travel partners. Alrighty, let's touch on the high points of the Premier League. There's no other place to start than at the Emirates. Arsenal 2, Chelsea 1. Chelsea getting another red card. Their 9th red card of the season in all competitions. Chelsea fell to that loss. It allowed Man United to go 3 points clear in the hunt for Champions League football. Michael, your thoughts on that? Chelsea losing 2-1 at the Emirates. Arsenal goes from corners. Chelsea getting their goal from a corner as well. But yet another weekend, yet another red card.
Yep, and if there is one thing you can't take away from Mikel Arteta and this Arsenal team, is them mastering the art of defeating Chelsea, no matter what. And I think it is a big plus for him and everything he's been able to do. Let's not forget there's a London derby. So in games like this, I expect that their teams will turn up and then they will deliver the results for them. And Arteta has learned how to do it. In a game like this, in the level to stand a chance. And the moment they were without Wesley Fofana, the moment they were without Marco Kurela, it took something from this Chelsea team. I knew it was going to be difficult for them. And then again, with a physically limited Cole Palmer, he's not really had the best of seasons per standard because he's not really fully fit and it becomes an issue. But I think a lot of times questions have been asked of this Arsenal team and then they produce the right answers. And I think we must give them the credit. Oftentimes we've berated them for lacking character and then lacking that toughness to deliver the goods in the critical moments. But this season, whenever they've suffered a setback, they find a way to bounce back. And when they do, they embark on a certain streak and it helps their cause. So maybe this could be Arsenal's year, I am saying. And this result goes on to demonstrate that. Yes, they were nervy at a point in time, but I think collectively, what Arsenal set out to do was exactly what they achieved. They scored the first goal. Chelsea clawed back into the encounter, but Arsenal did not relent. They pushed, and then they got that second goal. And you have to give them the credit. I think they deserved it. And that save from David Raya in the closing stages of the game is one of the saves that you need from your goalkeeper in a campaign where you expect the fight to be very fierce. And I would have to give props to the Arsenal goalkeeper. I think he did very well. If he had conceded from that, I think it would have given Chelsea the right impetus to even push, and it would have been similar to the Manchester United game. But with him making that save, it embodies Arsenal belief and then their confidence, and then they were able to do what they did. But to Chelsea and the red cards, I find it perplexing, and at times it's inexplicable how players fail to appreciate the stage they are in, understand the situation they find themselves in, and then act appropriately. And yes, I am one of those who are proposing that there should be stiffer sanctions to players who attract red cards in this Chelsea team. Because I believe that, yes, there is a scientific approach to remedying the situation. And that Liam Rosinia spoke about it, where he said that it should not just be about finding players or sanctioning them. You also have to look at the root cause. What is actually triggering this? And he spoke about the psychological aspect of it, and maybe their character or their personality, that they would have to solve it internally. But then again, as humans, we must have certain things put in place, measures that are put in place that deter us from engaging in certain actions. For instance, there are laws, there are rules and regulations, and I know that if I do this, the implications or the consequences I suffer are clearly spelled out. It kind of deter me from engaging in such actions in the near future. I become very much aware. But when you leave room for players, for human beings to come to understand that, okay, I can do this, yes, the only consequence or the only implication I suffer will be this and not more, then it gives them some kind of leeway. And that is what Chelsea have failed to do. This red card issue started becoming a problem right from Mauricio Pochettino. Pochettino left, Maresca came, it was still there. Maresca has left, it's Liam Rosinia, and it's still reoccurring. So you don't just apply internal measures to try and cure it. You also need to implement strict measures, sanctions, punishment to players for attracting red cards. Maybe it's just like saying that your players are not showing up for training early, and so you are just going to deal with them psychologically, deal with them internally. No, there are reasons why you must implement sanctions. And I think Chelsea should listen for this disciplinary issue. Oftentimes, you see how they attract yellow cards and all that, and you know that some of these reasons they get the yellow cards are very unnecessary. They will argue unnecessarily, take squabbles with opponents or referees, and it becomes a big issue, something that should not even degenerate to that level. So I think the issue could be dealt with a two-pronged approach. Deal with it internally, but also make sure that you implement strict measures, sanctions, punish players for some of these things, because it ends up costing the team. Chelsea against Sunderland, Chelsea against Leeds, a lot. The last game, Chelsea-Burnley, before the Arsenal game, players cannot continue to attract needless cautions and then jeopardize the chances of their team in such a game. And Liam Rosinia might not want to just give it out that we are going to punish players for attracting red cards. In the media, he will try to manage it using PR. Okay, I think we need to deal with it psychologically, find the root cause. But I think internally, Chelsea should be having serious discussions on how to go about this situation. And it should not just be about the psychological part. It should also be about punishing players, especially when it is established and the evidence is clear that the way a manner you attracted yellow cards or a particular red card was very needless. Players need to be taught to do the right things. And one way to teach them is to punish them as well.
Okay. Interesting thoughts. Kelvin, your impressions. Michael seems to believe that Chelsea will have to crack the whip hard on this red card culture that's beginning to creep in, because yesterday was one at Old Trafford, they got another one. Michael, correct me if I'm wrong, last weekend was there a red card? No, last weekend there wasn't.
Yeah, there was a red card to Wesley Fofana.
There was, yes,
ruled him out of this game. Yeah.
Against Burnley, when they played Burnley.
Yeah,
so that's 9 in all competitions. Kelvin, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's something that they have to deal with. Remember, it got to a point, I think Arsenal was getting red cards and, lots of cautions. But now you don't see it. And I think it's something that has to do with the technical team to be very strong on the players, to let them know that certain decisions they make during games, their acts, their reactions, becomes needless, And I don't really understand why, certain decisions are made by, the players to go for certain fouls. There are times you look at the yellow cards that they even get before they get a second bookable offenses, and it's terrible. Yesterday I was like, Neto has enough pace. Look at that tackle he went for. Anyone who knows Martinelli, he knows that it was either going to go long or he was going to turn back. So why don't you run with him? If you run with him and you even outrun him and then he decides to turn back, that means you have prevented that attack. But he decided to go and just slide into, a ball that you knew you were not going to get. It was such a reckless, slide into trying to win possession. And hopefully Liam Rosinia would just quickly identify this and find a solution to it. Other than that, you've been missing players from games. Now you missed Fofana last weekend. You are going to miss.
Pedro Neto is missing the next game. Yeah,
and the next game is midweek. So it's quite unfortunate for Chelsea. There are times some of the players need to be responsible for certain actions that they put up.
Chelsea losing 2-1. Arsenal picking up 3 points. Michael, I don't know whether you want to share your thoughts quickly on Man United winning, Villa losing, and then all of a sudden this title race the hunt for top 4 is beginning to look really interesting.
I am particularly impressed with Michael Carrick and the Manchester United team, and I'm also happy for Benjamin Sesko. I think in the early stages he was a player that a lot of the fans lambasted. They felt he was an investment that had gone wrong, but I think he's been able to turn things around, and he's doing exactly the job they expected him to do, something that Joshua Zirkzee failed to, because Zirkzee is a very good player, but he wasn't that guy that United could rely on to get them goals when they needed it. And I think Sesko has proven to be that. He's typically proven that he's capable when he starts, or even when he's a bench option. He can come on and make the right impact. And it is all because I think Carrick is doing the basics right. is making players thrive in roles that they are very comfortable in, which is a deviation from how Amorim wanted to do things. Amorim wanted to impose his own ideology, his way of thinking on the playing body. But Carrick is much more like, it is what you are comfortable with, and then we'll try to use the collective to show up in terms of your deficiencies. And it is paying off. You have to give them the credit. You have to give him the credit for, he's not done a lot. He's not done outrageous. He's just done the basics right. And that was all that Manchester United needed to start to get results. Now, this is where it gets interesting as to whether he gets the job long term or not. What he's doing now is much more of a crisis management. Now, when he gets the job permanently, it is about project management, and those are two different things. Mm-hmm. He came to United to salvage a situation. It's like a sinking ship. Okay, let me come on board. Let me prevent the place where there's a leakage and water is rushing on into the ship. And when you do that, it's simple. Your job is just laid out, plain, it's clear. So you know exactly what you have to do. Now, when you are given the projects to run, to manage, it is not just about saving the ship from sinking. It's about steering it on a particular path, using your own compass to get it to the right destination. And I think that, to me, in my opinion, is a bit beyond the capabilities of Michael Carrick. He can do a great job as an interim, but on a permanent basis, I am yet to be convinced. In that, you don't just make players feel like normal roles. You need to go beyond that. That's planning. You need to look at planning the season in entirety, where you have to play matches like twice a week. And I don't think Carrick has the know-how to deal with such situations. So yes, he's doing a good job because of the role he's been assigned. If they reverse the role and give him the main job, I think it will be a bit different.
Okay.
And that is what I make of this whole Manchester United situation. For Aston Villa, I knew it was going to be like this. When the pressure comes up, how they were going to wilt and not sustain their level of performances and results. And it is not surprising that they started to play out in that manner. But if they're able to recover quickly and bounce back, it will be to their own good, because Chelsea have showed that just as they ended last season, they have the intention to embark on a certain streak, get results where you least expect them to. Liverpool have showed that they are also turning around the corner, and then they are proving that they are capable of getting results when it matters most. So Aston Villa might be a Nottingham Forest in here, and I think the sooner they recover from their slump, the better it will be for their chances of trying to make it into the Champions League.
Well, we'll see how it plays out. Villa losing on Friday night to Wolves. Wolves, thumbs up to Wolves. They are making a good fight out of this relegation battle. They want to see if they can possibly save themselves. A quick run through some of the other results. Liverpool winning 5-2. Everton beating Newcastle by 3-2. That was a very interesting game. I was watching that. Fulham beating Spurs by 2-1. And Michael, just finally, how much of a hole are Tottenham in at the moment? How much trouble are they in at the moment?
I think it is a club lacking identity, and it is a club lacking direction. Under Daniel Levy, yes, they made a lot of mistakes. They did not really approach things in a way that you expect to be clear, like a clear path was not carved as to where they wanted to get to. Now, the moment Daniel Levy left, it meant they needed to change direction, get a whole new sporting direction, a new way that they want to do things. And I think it is what they have struggled with so far. Yes, they have players, they try to do something, but clearly you can tell that the EMA of the club is not recognizable. You don't know what they want to do, and it is becoming a problem for them. They think the issue is with coaches, but I think it stems from the top. They can't. Leadership is that bad, and I fear for them. Whatever is happening to them this season mirrors what happened to them last season. The only thing they did to paper over the cracks was to win the Europa League. Now it looks like they won't win the Champions League. So attention or focus switches back to the domestic league, and they are struggling in it. Yes, they have names, they have players, but they don't have the character. They don't have an identity, and I think it is their biggest pain. But you have to give Marco Silva the credit. Yeah. Marco Silva, for consistent people. I think if you are looking for some of the longest serving coaches in the Premier League, you have to look at him. he's built that consistency, and that he's come to understand and know the Premier League very well. There are times where Fulham goes to a dry patch, they don't get the results, but you always trust Marco Silva to lift them up, and he will find ways to get them to play their best again. And it is happening now. We are seeing Harry Wilson, Samuel Chukwu is there, and even to an extent, Raul Jimenez. They are all delivering, and it's very positive for Fulham and everything that they are doing. Maybe the next EPL manager who we talked about, the candidate to get the big teams, should be Marco Silva. He's actually worked his way to be in that conversation, and credit to him. But for Spurs, the demon that has possessed them is not ready to be cast away. So let's see what happens.
Well, Spurs are in trouble. Let's quickly go to Germany. The biggest game in Germany was the Klassiker. Dortmund at home hosted Bayern Munich. It ultimately ended Dortmund 2, Bayern Munich 3. Harry Kane at the double. Joshua Kimmich scoring the goal that made it a 3-2 win for Bayern Munich. Michael, thoughts on this? This was an exciting game. It was a very interesting game to watch. In the end, Bayern Munich proved that they were the better side on the day.
I think it was a game of 2 halves. And the start to the game from Dortmund was expected. Don't forget that in the Champions League, they had capitulated against Atlanta, and then they went out of the Champions League. And so playing in the Klassiker right after a disappointing result, they decided to put up a show that would delight their fans, especially when the game was taking place at the Signal Iduna. So you have to give the first half to Dortmund. Although Bayern played the role, they tried to apply themselves. But I think it was Bayern's rise in the second half that delivered everything for them. And I think Kompany gradually is winning me over. He's one of the shrewd tacticians in the game. If things don't work well, he finds a way to make adjustments. He tweaks his strategy, tweaks his formation or tactics, and is able to find a way out. And it is really, you have to give him the credit. Kompany is a very good coach, but for the Bundesliga, many of us would have not appreciated his body of work. He did excellently at Burnley. But then again, people just label it as just a good performance in the Championship. And when they came into the Premier League and then they were relegated, they used it to actually rubbish everything that Kompany had done with them. But I think at Bayern, what it does for him is that it is a platform where he gets quality materials to work with, a platform where they have the right structures to guide and support him. And he just needs to platform his ideas and then to tutor these players, get them to play exactly how he wants them to. And then the result is what we are seeing now. I'm very happy for him. But to Bayern Munich, they are currently demonstrating that no team in the Bundesliga comes close to where they want to get to and where they are. Dortmund might try, Leverkusen might try, but definitely they are asserting their dominance over the other teams. And in instances like this, it makes the Bundesliga very boring. But the game was exciting. It gave us a lot of goals. Bayern taking a lead, Dortmund clawing back, Bayern deciding they'll have the final say. And I think it was a beautiful day Klassiker. German football is very exciting. If you want goals, it will give you the goals. And that is exactly what we saw in the Klassiker. But what separated the two teams was Bayern had excellent coaching from Kompany. They had a lot of rest during the week and a lot of time to prepare as well. They were not engaged in midweek. Dortmund played in the Champions League, a crucial away game against Atlanta. And then Bayern also had a deep squad. So when things got a bit tough, they had to dig deep, refer to what was available on their bench, and then it came to make some level of impact. So you have to give it to Bayern. They had everything to win this encounter.
Well, they did. Let's quickly touch on the Serie A, and then we'll try and wrap it up. I'll bring Kelvin in to get his thoughts. The most exciting game in Italy was the Roma-Juventus game. I thought Roma were going to win this. I didn't trust Juve would get something out of it. But thumbs up to Juventus. They made a good fight of this. They were 3-1 down after 65 minutes. But goals from Jeremy Boga and Federico Gatti brought them back and gave them a point. That was a stirring comeback. It was a brilliant second half. chaos all over, but Juventus managed to get a point from there. Michael, your thoughts, and then I take Kelvin's thoughts.
I think it's been Roma's bane so far this season. In the big games, especially at home, they will dominate, do all that they have to do. Then it is either they concede first and they have to claw back into the game, or they take a lead, cannot actually kill off the encounter, and then it allows the opponent to come into it. They played a 1-1 draw with AC Milan, and it was a similar template. Roma dominated, created loads of chances, spent a lot of them, and then Milan had to score first before Roma found an equalizer, and the game actually ended in a draw. I think the difference between what Gasperini is doing and where Roma expects to get to is character. He's trying to mold them into a team with character. But typical Gasperini teams, one of the features or the characteristics of Gasperini teams is that they can play so well, but there is always that loophole opponents will exploit and use to attack them. Defensively, they have deficiencies, and it goes against him. When he was at Atlanta, it was the same. They can score like 4. By the time you realize the opponents have equalized, and it's 4-4. So Gasperini gives you a lot. Quality play, solid performances, great offensive displays, but it does not really give you the result that you expect on a consistent basis. And I think that is what Roma are trying to figure out. Eventually, they will understand or appreciate him better, and then they might improve on some of these loopholes. But Juventus could not afford to have another bad weekend. The last 2 weeks have been very hellish for them. That result in Turkey against Galatasaray. Then in the Serie A, they also suffered a painful result. Then in the last midweek, they played against Galatasaray. Although they won, it was not enough to qualify them. And in this game, they needed to do something because they also needed the point to help their cause in terms of making the top 4 in the Serie A and then sealing a Champions League spot. And I think it was a game that asked a lot of them. And you have to give Luciano Spalletti the credit that he provided the right answers and he was able to bring Juventus back into the game. I think it was an exciting game. It was a great game. And you have to give the two teams the credit for selling that brand of football.
Kelvin, do you have any thoughts on that? Roma 3, Juve 3.
I think the kind of resilience Juventus have put up is worth rewarding. But I look at the aspects of their game and I still think they are too loose. They are too easy to cut open. Maybe Roma left their legs off the pedal after going 3-0 up because they could have been able to even finish the game. But they just sat back, relaxed. When Juve got one goal, they were thinking, oh, that would have been it. But credit to Jeremy Boga. I think in the last 2 games, he's really given an indication of, the quality that he has as a player. Hardly will you see, such players come out to dictate the game. Together with, what's his name? Is that middle number 10? I always forget his name. Yilmaz.
Yes, Kenan Yildiz.
Yes, Kenan Yildiz. Brilliant player. Cuts open, makes that defensive, effort. And I think the final minute of the game, Roma thought that, at least they could run away with a 3-2, victory. But Gatti knew exactly where to position himself, and just when he got into that, he managed to score. It's making the Serie A interesting because you look at the table, and from getting into the top 4 is going to be interesting going forward because Como, AC Milan, even Roma themselves are all trying to get into the top 4, which makes it very interesting with a home stretch. And I think that it's impressive. Juventus would have to maybe give Spalletti some time. But one thing that they will be looking forward to is just getting into the Champions League once again. But I know that with the sort of players that he has now, if Juve go into the market and he gets a number of players that he thinks that would help his cause, next season he could be pushing or putting together a better team for, a more rewarding campaign than we've seen from Juventus this particular season. It was quite an interesting game. Initially, I did not want to watch when I realized the score when we left ANC corner. And
it was 3-1.
Yes, it was.
Roma were 3-1 up at the time.
So I was like, come on, should I watch it? Me, I go home quite early. I left. So I go home before the game started. But when it was 3-0, I was like, let me just stop. But I just went and I go back and I was like, okay, yes, this. Let me just watch, because it could be interesting. Maybe Roma could score more, but all of a sudden I just saw Juventus taking the game to them, and it was quite impressive to see from Juve and how they managed to get back into the game. Hopefully, they will build on this because they are just too open, loose in defense. So teams just carve open a number of times, and Roma did not even take a lot more of their chances.
Okay.
They should have run away with the lead.
Okay. Roma 3, Juve 3. Sassuolo they beat Atalanta by 2-1. Cremonese lost 2-0 to Milan. Milan scoring 2 injury time goals there. Michael, Inter Milan at a point made it 13 points at the top, but AC's win cut the lead down to 10 points. Thoughts on that? Inter Milan winning 2-0 at home against Genoa. During the week, they struggled and they lost to Bodo Glimt, but on Sunday they beat Genoa. Fantastic goal from Di Marco. Lovely goal from Di Marco.
Yeah, but he is known for scoring such goals, but I think personally he has not accelerated in terms of his progression as many of us expected. Di Marco 3 seasons ago burst onto the scene after he had gone. I think he went on loan to Kievo, and many expected that he would light things up and then continue from there. But it looks like he's been a bit more stagnant as it stands now. He's not developed to that level that we get. And anytime results are not going his way, it looks like one of the weaknesses or the deficiencies in the team, and it affects them. But brilliant goal, I'll take nothing away from him. It was always expected that Inter at home, after embarrassing themselves against Bodo, needed a response against Genoa just to also assert their dominance in terms of the Serie A. And as it stands now, if they don't win the Serie A, I think I'll be the first person to go to Milan and sack Christian Kiwu, because with the healthy point lead they have and all the advantage that they have over the other teams, I think there is no way Inter will not clinch the title. But it is about the level of performances and consistency on the domestic front. They keep getting these positive results. They are the team with the best form guide in the Serie A. They've won their last 5 matches. If you expand it to their last 10 games, Inter has not lost. They've won 9, they've drawn 1. And it should tell you something. They've picked 28 points from an available 30 in their last 10 matches. So they're the most consistent team. And it is a reason they are where they are in terms of the placement on the Serie A table. So kudos to them. But I think by far the most exciting team would be Como. I just want to throw in something. Como plays the most exciting brand of football in the league.
Yeah.
You can't actually tell one single Italian player who is a mainstay or a key performer in this Como team. And that is a big issue. We've seen Italian teams rise. In the early 2000s, when Lazio sprang up, started playing very well.
Yep.
We've seen Palermo, we've seen a lot of these teams. You always find Italian elements in there among the top performers. There was never in the Lazio setup. I've gone and mentioned a lot of names. Como has just showed us the kind of football they are playing, and not a single Italian player is dominating in there. It just goes to portray the level of Italian football as it stands now.
Yeah, Como doing fantastic things. Fabregas tearing up the script and writing his own story with Como, causing all kinds of headaches with that team in the Serie A. The final bit, let's just jump to France. The biggest game over the weekend was the Olympico involving Marseille and Lyon. And what a game it was. Lyon led twice. Marseille came back 3 times. And they won that game thanks to a late Pierre Aubameyang winner. That was a fantastic one. Really, really enjoyable game last night. That was what I closed out the Sunday with after the 2 games from England. I went to watch that one. I went to watch. Michael, do you have any thoughts on that?
I think the first half goes to Lyon. How they started,
Yes.
Corentin Tolisso, and the goal he scored. Enrique looks like he was made for the French league. Maybe he needs to play a couple of seasons in there and then develop. So he comes to, he looks like the French league. I'm not exaggerating. The impact he's had on this Lyon team and then in the league in that short period of time, I think it's very impressive. You have to give him the credit. But then again, he finds himself in an environment that appreciates his talent and a coach who is known for harnessing raw potential. Paulo Fonseca has just found the right job at Lyon. Tyler Morton, Enrique, and a lot of teenagers on his books. And what he's done is that he's instituted experience in almost every department of a team. In their defense, there is Musa Niakate, and then Aislan Maitland.
Yes.
Then in the middle, there is Corentin Tolisso in there. In attack, basically, they don't really have enough experience up there. So their team is dominated by youngsters or teenagers. But how Fonseca is able to coach something positive out of them should be very much commended. But it was unfortunate. They played against Marseille at the wrong time. Things have not been going very well for Olympique Marseille. Habib Bey.
Hello, Michael?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. We lost you for a second.
Okay, so as I was saying, Lyon played against Marseille at the wrong time because Marseille badly needed the results. And at a point in time when it was halftime, when Lyon were leading 1-0, the cameras captured Mehdi Benatia, and you could see that they were a bit tense. They were anxious. They needed things to change, and that is it. You have to give them the credit. They actually have a very good team. I don't know why Marseille, at a point in time, they just capitulated and lost out in terms of their direction. They're a solid team that could have at least challenged for the title. But all of a sudden, influence, their dominance or their results, they lost control of everything. And it started to bite them back. But I love the response they gave. One, Igor Paishao, a beautiful goal.
Yep, came off the bench to level things, yeah.
Exactly, and it gave them the needed drive to push further. It gave them belief again. But Lyon did not relent, and they still found themselves chasing the game. You have to give. It was a very exciting game. It goes on to portray typical French football: young talent, brilliant, bright, and then they will have each other. And I think anyone who watched it did enjoy himself.
It was a good one. If you are listening to us and you missed out on the Olympico yesterday, you really missed out on something interesting. Kelvin, any thoughts? And then
so I think that game was also another brilliant one, and I would want to look at two players who are trying to get the very best out of where they are. One is Hendrick. I think it's brilliant to see how he's picking up the pieces. Not bad, 2 assists against Olympique Marseille, in a very big game like that. It was quite impressive. And the other is Ethan Wanyeri. I look at Arsenal.
I think he set up the last goal. Yes.
I look at Arsenal's team and I'm like, come on, this is a gentleman. This is a guy who has enough quality, enough talent to be playing in that number 10 role, or that offensive role you'd want to create chances, because very few are like him with his left foot, try to draw more central. He has that ability to strike the ball. So you could clearly see he was engineering something in the second half for that is Olympique Marseille. And trust you me, I don't know, I always say that you may grow old as a player, but what you know how to do best would always stick with you. Look at where Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang positioned himself, offered the team an opportunity to feed him with the ball, and he managed to just slot it in and then get them the right result that they needed, at the end of the day. And I give credit to him, for how, I don't know, when he's playing at club level, you can see all the focus until, when he falls out with the club. But at national team level, he plays 1-2, he goes off. If he had that consistency, of himself for quite a very long time, I think he would have been one of the greatest African footballers we've seen. But there's that limitation. But it was all in all a very good game, and I think Habib Bey got the magic one, bringing Pacquiao on.
That was a brilliant move.
Yes, he just came and then everything decided to turn on its head for. That is Olympique Lyon. Lyon will be disappointed, especially in the manner in which Marseille came back into the game to just get the victory. But I think that, you need to fight for the win. You need to earn the results. And Marseille did everything that they could do, and they had under their belt, and they managed to get the all-important victory and 3 points, in their bag.
Well, Lyon losing the Olympico, Marseille picking up all 3 points. All right, 9:45. Michael, thank you. Yes, before.
You know what happened in Scotland to two Rangers and then
they drew 2-2.
Yes, and
Rangers took the lead.
Yes.
And then
also
Celtic
also came back
fought their way back.
And in South Africa, Orlando Pirates dismantled Kaizer Chiefs 3-0.
I watched it. Hey, Michael, did you see that Soweto derby? Pirates dished it out to Chiefs 3-0.
Exactly. It's just like what Owaz did to Prempeh, and Kevin has failed to congratulate us.
But Michael, I told you, okay, congratulations to Kotoko School.
Tell listeners.
Congratulations to Kotoko School. The eternal butlers finally have managed to win this.
The eternal butlers.
They've always been bottling it. Ask Michael. He knows. But I think this time it was a phenomenal achievement from them. Together with St. Hubert Seminary, they really gave the rest. That is
St. Hubert is your school.
Yes, Prempeh and then TIMS, ran a very good, competition, and OWAS were just phenomenal. I think that this could, push them forward to winning a lot more titles, because OWAS has always had the athletes, but one moment, of madness, one moment of, a fall, one moment of a baton change, one moment of an athlete failing to do what execute his run properly, affected them. But this time around, they really did their best. And I think the master stroke for them, I told Michael under one of the posts, is the headmaster for Opoku, Reverend Father Stephen Owusu. I used to work in his room, when he was at St. Hubert, and he was very much interested in sports. Remember the last time I just said something that now most of the schools are changing the mentality that just focus on education, curricula. Now the extracurricular activities are being encouraged. Look at robotics now. Look at sports. Talking about football, athletics. Back in the days, ask Michael, St. Louis Senior High School, they don't care about sports. All they know is academics and then get into the National Science and Maths quiz. But now, there's focus on that to the point that for the last 5 years, they've been dominant in athletics, even in basketball. Unlike previous years where the Holy Childs and the schools along the coast were just performing, but now St. Louis is giving a chase, and this sends a message to the sports ministry, National Sports Authority, Ghana Education Service, the various sports directorates. Investment in that sector, especially athletics, is terrible. They should have a focus at that, because it's changed the livelihoods of many.
That's true.
If it wasn't for athletics, a number of our athletes who are schooled in outside would never get the opportunity because the academics were not so impressive. And they should look at that. Not everyone will go through formal education to become successful in life and give the society a change and an impact. They should look at that, because when the athletes go now, you listen to John Ampoma, he used athletics as a javelin thrower to get there, and now if you listen to John Ampoma, he's better educated than some of the students who focus solely on education, and he's making an impact more than that. The likes of Emmanuel Dasso, Benjamin Azamati, Joseph Polamo, other athletes, they have to critically look at that sector, and the sports colleges. It is time to revamp them.
That's true.
You look at the kind of dedication the coaches in Kumasi give to these athletes. I saw one of the coaches. He doesn't work at St. Hubert, but he realized the potential of Blessed Owusu. So he just called him, bring him to me at the Babaya Sports Stadium. I'll make sure I train him, because once we spot the potential and the talent, it means he's going to be one for the future, for the region, for national, and then, for the entire world. So I think it is one aspect that the nation should just be turning the focus on. But credit to Opoku High School. Michael, congratulations. Emmanuel Stewart Domine. It worked this time around.
Michael, so you have your congratulations. Congratulations to Opoku Ware for winning the Super Zonals on Friday.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Your day is made.
Yes.
Thank you, Michael. We'll catch up later. Have a good day.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Wonderful. That was Michael Azaribodu. Kelvin Owusu is here. Oh, we'll be wrapping it up here. We'll be wrapping it up here on the Sporty Breakfast. Remember, Yvonne and her team will be on to give you total English football at 10. But we are wrapping it up here. Tomorrow we have something special for you. Tomorrow we'll be doing a 100-day countdown to the World Cup. So tune in from 7:30. We have a wonderful show for you. Wonderful show for you. Note it, you will have a lot of World Cup fun tomorrow. We are talking about 100 days to the World Cup. We'll look at different dimensions, different topics. So get ready to join us tomorrow. But enjoy the rest of your day today. Many thanks for listening. Many thanks. We really appreciate the time you take to listen to us. And enjoy the rest of the day. Remember, there's the news at midday, Sporty Plug at 12:30, Sporty Drive at 4, Monday night Sporty. Keep your doubts locked on Sporty FM. This has been the Sporty Breakfast. My name is Nathan Kwa. I did this with Raymond Yamado, Kelvin Owusu, Sir Michael Asai-Bredu, Imota Kwame, Jakwe Champo, and the rest of the production team. Thank you to you. Shout out to my DJ Fidelis, Fly, and Emmanuel Ayamga, the technical guys, everybody. Thank you so much. We'll catch you tomorrow. Keep your doubts locked on Sporty FM. Enjoy your day, and I wish you a blessed month of March. Remember, it's Heritage Month. Celebrate all things Ghana, because this is the month where we celebrate our country and remind ourselves that this is a wonderful country. Enjoy your day. We'll catch you later.
You're walked on to Sporty 106.1 FM in Accra, 91.3 FM in Kumasi, and 102.5 FM in Takrady. Sporty, the voice of sport.
I want, two, three, let's go.
I'm cool tempered. This ain't my dance to see you. My girls are hips you. I love my soccer. All my ladies taste like sugar. I'm made in Ghana. I'm made in